our choir mic.
Gotcha. Is it not coming through?
No, so we're hardwiring it.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Francis Howell North High School. FHN students, staff, and administration are pleased to have you as our guests for tonight's homecoming football game between the visiting Timberland Wolves and your Francis Howell North Knights. This athletic event is sanctioned by the Missouri State High School Activities Association, and as members of that organization, both schools agreed to abide by the regulations governing athletic competition for high schools in the state of Missouri, as well as to maintain the standards of sportsmanship required at these athletic event contests. Tonight's contest will be officiated under the rules set forth by the National High School Federation, the governing body for high school interscholastic athletics.
Oh my
Would
gosh,
you please
can I
rise as
talk
we honor
into
our
this?
nation with the playing of the national anthem by our Night Sound.
tunnel? Yeah.
Thank you, Night Sound.
Are we getting in line? Yeah.
Daddy! I have hand sanitizer. Do you want to try it?
Yeah, I'll just do it after this.
Okay, yeah, after you all do that, then you can go. They've already.
Please welcome to the field our guests for tonight's contest, the Wolves from Timberland High School. The referees for tonight's contest: head referee Nicholas Lloyd. The umpire is Bruce Haas. Linesman is Vince Grishman. Line judge Ray Blanc. And back judge Stephen Stanfill. Thank you, gentlemen. We couldn't have tonight's contest without you.
That's what these are for.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
What happened to that one?
Which one?
This one.
Well, no, this is supposed to be not having water get in it.
But.
So I just have that. We do.
Yeah.
That to keep that on it.
Yeah.
This is a mic that everybody can hear.
Oh yeah. This will just be left here.
Throw it in here.
Okay.
I'm gonna take it up.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for your help.
Is that your water?
It is not.
Please welcome to the field the captains for tonight. First for the visitors from Timberland, number 5, Austin Humphrey, number 7, Riley Holstein, number 8, Jaden Reinhardt, and number 23, Cam Newsom. The captains for the Knights, number 6, Champ Polly, number 9, Sam Mahiran, number 78, Riley Klecker, and number 1, David Beaker. North has won the toss.
Rain, rain, go away has been the only thing echoing throughout these halls today at Francis Howell North, but the rain has finally let up, and we are here for some Friday night football action. The Timberland Wolves go on the road to Francis Howell North. I'm Kane Manfull, joined here by Braeden Kettinger. We're sure to be in for a great one tonight. What are your takes coming into this first quarter?
Yeah, Kane, first on-campus homecoming game for these Knights in 3 seasons, and sure, it's been anticipated. They're ready. Like you said, rain, rain, go away. This rain has been, you know, the damper on the day. Pep assembly all day, super excited. But here we are, we're ready for some football. 0-4 Knights, 0-4 Wolves. We have a good game. The battle of the two dual threat quarterbacks, Champ Pauly, Austin Humphrey, 2 great runners. You know, both teams sort of have a spread offense, but you definitely see a dual threat action for both offenses. 2 great running backs on both sides. They're a very evenly matched team. Both great defenses at times, but they've struggled as of late. So this is definitely an interesting one for both schools as they try to get their season back on track. But I'm surely excited. I know everyone in the stadium's excited.
Yeah, battle of the 0-4 programs. Francis Howell North coming off a 42-7 loss to Francis Howell High. And a 42-0 shutout loss. Troy Buchanan swept Timberland last week. So again, both teams trying to bounce back from a big loss. The rain all day made it kind of it's going to be an untraditional football game. I mean, you're going to have slick balls, slick turf. So it's going to be a battle of who can mess up less tonight, and that'll be the deciding factor. But we are ready here for our opening kickoff.
I'm ready for some old school football, Kane.
I'm ready for it. 90s Smash Mouth, Nebraska, Big Ten type football.
Exactly.
All right, back to kick it off is Francis Howell North. Timberland won the coin toss and Knights won the coin toss and elected to defer to the second half. And it's off. Again, a challenging one tonight. The rain may have quit, but 16-mile-an-hour winds and a 33 gust as we kick off this game.
Yeah, Kane, and I mean, slick fields are not an easy thing ever. You plant your foot and it just slips right back.
Absolutely. So, Timberland, again, like you talked about pregame, led out by number 5, Austin Humphrey, a man to watch. 98 completions on 98 attempts on the year with 40 completions. Just crossed the 400-yard mark last week despite the loss. 3 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Those interceptions going to be something to watch for Timberland, but also for this nice defense to maybe take advantage of. So we'll see how that plays into effect here. Big passing offense, though. Something that the Knights don't really implement.
Yeah, if we're trying to break it down to a per-game basis, you could expect about 20 attempts from Humphrey tonight. And he's going to complete a fair number of those. He's going to be something that they haven't really faced, at least in the last couple weeks, with not the strongest quarterback play as of late against their opponents. They started out with really great with North Point and Hoyt Gregory. But yeah, they definitely have a big challenge on the other side of the line.
Absolutely. So that first down play was a run to Tristan Moss, number 10, good back for Timberland. He's already got 2 touchdowns on the season. And there'll be a flag in the backfield on this one. A false start on Timberland will push them back 5. Not the way you want to start a ball game. You got to play disciplined football, especially on the road when you have as packed of a student section as Francis Howell North does tonight.
Yeah, it just makes your life a little bit harder when you have to get 15 yards as opposed to those 10.
Absolutely. Forces up a big second down now.
Second down, 11 yards to go.
Knights defense looking to hold him here. Can make it a 3rd and unmanageable. Humphrey hands it off. Tristan Moss up the middle. Swarmed by that Knights defense, and it will be held to a 3rd and 10 opportunity.
Don't want to speak too soon, Kane, but that's a great start from this Knight defense. That first drive has been a struggle for them in these last couple weeks, so getting a stop on that first one would be a great start.
For sure, especially, you know, that first drive always seems like one of the most important, not just from, like, momentum-wise, but if you give them the ball first and then get a stop, so it's like they almost didn't have that possession, especially a 3-and-out situation like this one. Defense off the field quick. Drops the pass. Austin Humphrey dishes it out. Will not be enough for the first down. Little play action rollout.
And I got to highlight what an incredible tackle by that North defense. That was almost surely a first down after a great shoelace tackle there.
Yeah, DeAndre Jones, a shifty receiver for the Wolves. That doesn't happen too often. Typically, those open field opportunities, he can get away from them, but great tackle there from the Knights.
Yeah, averaging about 10 yards a catch, so he usually is pretty explosive.
Back to punt, Cam Newsom. A good punt, pushes him way back. Gets the Timberland roll. That wind is definitely going to help him out tonight. All the way down to the 16-yard line. 84 yards to go for Francis Howell North.
Kane, I almost spoke too soon. I was just about to mention that possession almost didn't happen, but now Timberland does make up for the mistake there, or a mistake of not doing much on that offensive possession. But now they push that Knight offense to have to get about 10 yards more than expected had they started with the ball. Yeah. So, not great to, not have a whole lot on that first possession, but good start to your defense.
Yeah, Cam Newsom averaging 40 yards a punt. But again, those 33-mile-an-hour gusts coming straight to their back, definitely going to help that out.
Going to add a few more yards to that.
Champ Pauly drops back. He'll keep it himself and be swallowed up there for a gain of 1. He is the second leading rusher for the Knights. Just crossed the 250-yard mark for the season.
Wow.
Averaging about 5 yards a carry. So definitely going to be, again, like you talked about pregame, that dual threat action. Also from Austin Humphrey on the other side of the ball, but especially with Champ Pauly.
Yeah, you kind of said it for me, but as a viewer, expect him to carry the ball a lot tonight.
So we'll see a bit more of a modern offense here from the Knights. It's their new one they're working out this year with the new playbook in effect. Pauly drops back. Handoff. And Conley wrapped up.
It was a great ball fake from Pauly there. He fooled both of us.
And that defensive line, it's somebody that's something that Timberland takes a lot of pride in. I mean, their tackles for loss are very, very strong this season, leading the district. Not a lot of sacks, actually. Yeah. The pass rush hasn't been there, but anytime you hand the ball off, expect to not get those lanes you can drive a semi-truck through. I mean, this defensive line will close on it in a hurry.
Yeah, I was looking at how their defense plays. More than anything, it's not turnovers, it's not sacks, but more than anything, they keep their offense on the field, and that's the best thing you can ask from your defense.
It's that bend, don't break mentality.
Exactly.
All right, a 4 wide, but it will be a timeout on the field.
Knights timeout.
Knights didn't like the look that they got. So that'll bring both sides.
You don't see timeouts in the first quarter too often anymore, Kane.
Especially first offensive possession on a 3rd and 7, you wouldn't really expect it.
I don't want to criticize it because let's say you do get this first down here, it definitely changes the outlook of this possession because you run out there 3rd and 7, you don't get the first down. It feels like a missed opportunity with how great your defense played in that first possession.
Absolutely. All right. So, yeah, taking a look at the Knights offense last year and in previous years, they've run a slot T offense. It's not something that was super incorporated. Again, back in the 70s, the Steelers did use it, worked it to perfection. But in today's game, it's just not as popular, so they had to implement this new playbook, this modern one. Champ Pauly, wide receiver screen. David Beeger stays on his feet and fights for the first down. That is physical football from David Beeger.
Yeah, the leading receiver for these Knights. Beeger has looked pretty awesome this year. Transitioning, he was mainly the kicker and the punter these last 2 years for the Knights, but he's now gotten to focus on corner and receiver, something that he takes a lot of pride in, and you can tell the
does
work.
Well.
Yeah, the work has paid off. He's looked great.
Absolutely. So move those sticks for the Knights. A great play call there, something that I don't think anybody was really expecting. A 3rd and 7. You take looking at the Knights offense here, their slot T here. And that's what they'll do. They'll misdirection 4 guys across the backfield, and the defense has a tough time reading it. Defense has a tough time reading that slot T. But you know, the one big downside to slot T offenses is that it's very predictable. You line up 4 guys in the backfield. You know they're going to run it. There's nobody out wide. I mean, looking at it right now, nobody outside the hashes. There's a handoff back, and he'll stay on his feet. Champ Pauly, big gain.
Yeah, Kane, kind of building on what you were just saying, something that, you know, kind of been a main criticism of this Knights offense. With the slot T, like you said, it's very predictable, but it also lacks risks. You know, with that timeout that they just took, and they took their time, they came up with a great offensive play call. You see more risk taken, and it's an improvement from what you saw. Sure, their record isn't better than it was last year, but when you watch this Knight football team, they look better than they did last year.
Absolutely, big 3rd down run. It will all be based on the spot, but it looks like the ref will give him the first. And there it is, 2nd first down for the Knights, moving quickly up the field here on this opening possession.
Something to look for is definitely that field position, right? You have 2 great kickers on your roster for the Knights. Both of them can hit from a lot farther than the average high school kicker. So as they approach midfield, they can get a lot closer, or they don't have to get as close as the average kicker for sure.
Except for these Knights here kicking into, again, I'm going to say it all night, that 33-mile-an-hour gust.
Yes,
that will set you back
That's very
hard.
true.
PATs become a challenge. Champ Pauly rolls out right. Takes off with it, uses those legs, takes a hard hit, and a fumble. Timberland falls on it.
Pauly puts the ball on the carpet.
And a fumble recovered by Timberland, so a big turnover. Like we were talking about pregame, a battle of the turnovers. Who will mess up less? And there it seems like Champ Pauly with the opening mistake. He had the rollout, didn't have the look he wanted, decided to keep it. He's a big physical quarterback. Just didn't have it there. I mean, just hard hit quarterbacks. It happens. They're not meant to tuck the ball like a running back. So it's great to have the quarterback with a dual threat, but it is a much riskier play.
Yeah, there's a reason these coaches are always preaching slide, slide, slide. They don't want you taking hits, and that's kind of the reason why. I'm sure that's a lot of what Champ's hearing on the sideline right now.
Absolutely. So there's a run up the middle. Johnny Velasco there with the run. Brings up a 2nd and 7. Both defenses very disciplined. You're not going to see a lot of penalties at them tonight. Austin Humphrey, the man across, keeps it himself, takes off. There's that dual threat, but a great wrap-up tackle in the backfield by the Knights. Javon Godfrey.
That Knight D-line was hungry, and they went to eat.
Absolutely. Black and gold in the backfield. We're looking to my right, and I see the student section on their feet, as they always are. Handed out gold pom-poms. That's a rough environment to play in with a packed student section.
It's like a terrible towel, Kane.
Penn State whiteout, some may say.
Ooh, I like that one.
And there's a rollout. That Knights defense swarming the backfield in a hurry. Timeout. That's another timeout in the first quarter. Not something that you see often.
Coach iced the quarterback there. You don't see that too many times.
Hey, quarterback was not ready for that call.
No.
But a timeout here on a 3rd and 10 with 5 minutes left in the first. Both of these teams have had some very high-scoring affairs in their past 4. Typically not in their favor, as the record reflects. But both teams have put up over 70 points this season, which is always a good thing, through 4 contests. They're just having a tough time putting it together against some of these bigger opponents.
Yeah, if I had to turn that positive, right, it's still very early. I don't want to speak too soon, but these defenses have looked strong to start. So that's important because starting strong is how you end strong, right?
Absolutely. Big third down here. Knights defense with a blitz. Austin Humphrey, not much time to throw. Wide open receiver, and he overthrows him. Beeger had 2 hands on it and couldn't connect.
The plus side there, it's third down. That may have been a strategic drop. I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He meant to drop that ball, and now they have to punt it.
I'm not so sure that in this first quarter, in this environment, you'd mean to drop an interception.
Hey, I said I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt, Kane.
You know what? I can see both sides of it,
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
Punt back. Oh, and it'll be a fake punt with Greengrass ahead. He'll take off. Will he get the first down?
It's going to be all depending on the spot. That's
A
real
big
close
spot.
to the first down marker.
They'll give him the first down.
Wow.
Or will they measure?
Kane, if I'm those referees, I'm getting those chains out.
And a first down. The boys in stripes make a call in Timberland's favor. Knights, an absolutely crushing play. Even if you're going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that, now you're wanting that pick back.
I'm sorry, David. Yeah, that's a big play.
That's a tough pill to swallow.
That's a big play for the Wolves. And, you got to commend head coach there. That was a great play. Most of the time, you're not going to be ballsy enough to make that kind of call, and you did, and it worked out.
Austin Humphrey, full confidence now. Full momentum shifting with the Wolves. Out of the backfield, a power back. Gets up 8 yards. Jaden Wienhart, not a guy you see carry very often. It's only 8 rushes on the season. But he had a good one there. Just keeps it up the middle. That'll push up a 2nd and 3. Back here, 2nd and 3. 4 minutes left here in the quarter. The motion guys across the field. That's our first look at Sky Owens on the bottom of your screen. He's got 4 receptions this season for 117 yards. Definitely going to be a guy to watch. He's a big open field threat. They'll give him the jet sweep. He'll take off across the field. Gets the first down and some more. Good play call. Good play call there on the jet sweep.
He takes it from behind the line of scrimmage, and he turns it into a positive play. That's what you want from every wide receiver.
Those jet sweeps, sometimes they're risky. You get swallowed up in the backfield. You get caught off guard, but there it worked to a T, and they'll get the yards that they needed to move those chains.
Yeah, especially in this situation, right? This Knight D-line has kind of swallowed Humphrey and all those running backs in the backfield, so calling a jet sweep was quite a decision, but it worked out.
So absolutely in field goal range here for Timberland, but that is not what they're going to be looking for. Definitely looking for the end zone. And a handoff there. Wienhart gets 2. He powers forward. And that'll force a big 2nd and 10. All right, Timberland, what do they got to draw up here to keep this drive going? I mean, you've had a very, very productive with the fake punt. Now, what do you got to drop here on a big 2nd and long?
I want to repeat what you just did. I want to find Sky Owens. I want to find him in open field.
And he looked to Sky Owens, but decides to keep it himself. Humphrey uses his legs for about a gain of 1 or 2.
I thought the ball was going to end up on the carpet again. That was a big hit.
That was that's another thing. I mean, when you're hitting running backs as a defender, you're thinking knock them down. When you're hitting quarterbacks, you see him as more of a prey, I guess, and you're looking to knock that ball free. So definitely a different mindset when you're trying to hit the quarterback.
These running backs, that's half their practice is learning and training how to carry that ball correctly.
Absolutely. Drops back to pass. Humphrey almost gets sacked, stays on his feet, throws deep, and I'm not sure he meant to drop it that time, Braeden. A missed opportunity for the defense.
Yeah, man, I don't know if I can defend you there.
In and out of the hands. A tough pill to swallow.
Tristan Bosley, you know, that's a tough one.
On the goal line.
We'll just call it a pass deflection. You know, it's fine. It's fine.
It's your second opportunity that you've had to end the drive with an interception, and it's just not going to work out.
All right, North fans, let's make some noise. It's 4th down.
And the crowd on their feet. 4th and 8. The offense stays on the field. Will this be another timeout called by Timberland?
That leaves one remaining for the rest of the half.
14 minutes of play is a lot of time.
I'm not sure if we're going to see a clock game scene from Timberland here at the end of this half.
No. I mean, it's not that we won't see it. It's that they physically couldn't. They couldn't play.
Hey, that's true.
They couldn't play to that. I mean, if you have a minute left, you just got to get up the field.
That's something to look at if you're in that night huddle, right? We're talking really early, but going down the stretch, time is going to be your friend, as it's really not Timberland's.
Not at all. So we're seeing this early. The Timberland offense on all cylinders, an unstoppable force versus this immovable object of a Francis Howell North defense, forcing a big 4th and 8 for Timberland here.
I couldn't put it better, Kane.
Looking to we're looking for a great secondary here if you're North, and if you're the Timberland, obviously looking to get to those chains, but I don't think you just look for 8. I think you might send a little corner route. I think you might try for that back of the end zone. That would be a motivation killer as a Knight.
Yeah, the one plus that you have here if you're the Wolves is it is kind of no man's land, right? You know, it would not be preferable to almost be in the red zone and not score, but you're not handing the Knights. They still have to go 65 plus yards to go score.
And Austin Humphrey drops back. Not a lot of time to throw. Evades pressure. Throws it up into no man's land. But a flag on the field.
I was just going to say.
Could be pass interference.
I'm going to stare at that referee.
Both sides waiting patiently to see what this one will be. Stripes talking it over.
Fingers crossed on both sidelines.
This is a big call for whatever the referees decide on. Student section waits in anticipation. And it looks like the defense will be scooting back. Holding on the defense. Not something you see too often on a 4th and 8. That is an absolute killer. If you're the Knights. If you're Timberland, I guess a little, sigh of relief.
Yeah, you got to acknowledge you were kind of bailed out there, but it's a very nice reward there.
Absolutely. So looking here, looks like we're going to have Sky Owens, the receiver, in the backfield here for Timberland unless he motions out.
Yeah, when you're facing a great defense like you are on the other side of the line with the Knights, confusion is a main one. You know, you need to confuse the defense. Don't keep throwing the same thing at them.
Four wide here. 4 wide set for the Wolves. And motion across. No protection from on Humphrey there. A stiff arm, and he'll have a slot to the end zone. Touchdown, Timberland. What an effort there.
One-handed snag. He dropped the ball at the very end. That had my heart beating.
Riley Holstein, the wide receiver 1 for Timberland, picks up his 10th reception of the season and his first touchdown.
And he gets 6 big ones.
Of the year. A big touchdown. Looking at that drive, personal opinion, I don't think Timberland won that. I think the Knights beat themselves. They had 2 missed pick opportunities, penalty, somehow let a punt get through. I mean, Timberland had excellent play calls with that one. Not taking anything away from Timberland. That was an incredible offensive possession, but the Knights really did beat themselves up there.
Yeah, Kane, I totally agree with you. I'm not sure the players beat the Knights there. I think the coaches beat the Knights there.
So 6-0 jump for Timberland, the first to score, and we're nearing 2 minutes left here in this first quarter.
A positive for the Knights here. They've been the team to score first a lot recently, and it hasn't really led to wins. So maybe coming from behind, it could be
something of a change. Cam Newsom back to kick this PAT. to put it up, a 7-point lead.
Point number 23, Cam Newsom.
And it's through. 7-0, the Wolves jump on the Knights quick. Swarm. So here we go. The Knights to get another look on offense. They looked promising that first possession, but couldn't really piece any points together as the scoreboard reflects. So how do you counter that? What do you change here? Or do you just kind of rock what you were doing? Because it was working.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Bevel down there, you're telling Champ, hey, keep that offense on the field as long as you can. I have a lot to talk about with that defense, and let's go score.
Absolutely. Kick team is phenomenal for Timberland. They have not allowed any big returns up until this point during the season. All their kickoffs have been great. Their hands team has been phenomenal. They've also had two successful onside kicks up until this point. So something to watch. Full house in attendance here. The stadium is packed. Again, this new Francis Howell North school, it's just got put up over the past year. Started back in 2020. Was supposed to be a $90 million investment. Got bumped to a $180 million. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Those numbers sound right to me, Kane.
But as you can see in the background there, little pieces, the old gymnasium, the wrestling room, and that whole wing have already been totally demolished. You'll see piles of rubble throughout the night in the background. But this new school has definitely been a big, I guess, morale booster for the players, for the students, for the staff, and for the parents. Having everything back on campus is nice. The past few years for the Knights, they've been playing at Central, one of their biggest rivals for every home game. Playing on the blue and silver is tough as a black and gold team. So it just kind of takes away that home field environment. So nice to have the big Knights shield back on the 50-yard line. Again, homecoming games recently too have been at Lindenwood University. So a new environment here for the Knights tonight.
I could not agree more.
And a
Kane.
big run there. Moves the chains, moves the marker up about 2 yards. Again, that defensive line for Timberland is just so strong.
Yeah, building on what you were saying before, with this new building, along with just the facilities, it's kind of thrown a fresh coat of paint on a little bit of everything, right? Most of these sports teams have gotten new jerseys. They have new balls with the logos on them. You know, it's a great morale boost because it feels nice to play with nice things, right? You look nice, you play nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, the last few years, again, they've been on Lindenwood's field. Oh, keeper from Champ Pauley. Not a lot of room to work. Can Pauley make it happen? A big hit. And that'll actually be a loss on the play of 1 yard, forcing up a big 3rd and 9. They've been playing their last few homecoming games on Lindenwood's campus, a D1 school right here in St. Charles. So obviously there's that aspect of playing where the biggest of bigs play on that D1 campus. But it's also nice to have your homecoming at home, you know.
Yeah, like it's definitely two different experiences, right? For the players, it's a dream come true, right? A lot of these players dream about playing Division I football, and in a
out of the pocket. Joey Ingracia downfield, picked. Will they give him the pick up the sideline?
He's celebrating as if he got it.
The ball will be incomplete, knocked away.
Would have been a bit of an arm punt there.
Joey Ingracia, not somebody we see throw the ball very often for the Knights.
Yeah, he's serving as the backup to Champ, but he definitely is involved in this offense, maybe not as much as a typical quarterback, but he also is the backup.
Yeah.
But with Champ being such a dual threat and, you know, such a part of the rushing offense, you need to include somebody else like that to keep the defense honest, right?
Yeah, late game against Howell last week, we saw Joey Ingracia get some reps in. Almost blocked the punt. No roughing the kicker call on that one.
Bit of a surprising one.
Yeah, I mean, if you rewatch that, it'll be he totally clipped his toe. Yeah, that's not something like typically the officials will, you know, they'll take that one into account and they will call it.
Well, and I totally agree. I feel like they're quicker to call things like that than they are to let the boys play.
Yeah. And not something that's a typically gets overlooked. I mean, you got to protect those kickers. They are helpless. They have one job to do. They are not worried about the defense. Yeah, Morgan Huff there took a bit of a hit. Tonight for the Knights, Morgan Huff, typically just a punter, but he will be doing kickoffs. Carson Howard, the typical kickoff field goal and PAT specialist, has a fractured, dislocated shoulder.
Yeah, he's dealing with a bit of a shoulder ailment is kind of what I would call it. He's still nursing that back. So they're going to give him the night off tonight. Mo, he's just as much of a kickoff specialist. He can do everything that Carson can. So he'll fill that role while Carson's gone. But they're not missing a whole lot. Mo can fill it and more.
Yeah. Yeah, with the win tonight, though, having a half-injured kicker is not something that is exactly
yeah, you need every bit of that ball every single time you kick it.
Yeah. So a big first play there for the drive will give them the first down, but the flag on the play takes them back. So no gain there. Essentially no gain there. 1st and 10, replay down. I apologize, 1st and 20 on the offsides there. Drops back, rolls out right. Open receiver, finds him, a great catch. Great catch. You get moved back 10 yards, you find some magic there, and you've moved it back to a 2nd and regular.
I was just going to say, you're still at a net positive there.
Yeah, Stoney Billings last game had a reception for 51 yards. Couldn't turn it into points, but there's his catch for tonight, and a big one. Definitely a needed one. So there's a timeout taken on the field. And that'll put an end to our first quarter. Where the Timberland Wolves lead 7-0 over the Francis Howell North Knights. Looking at Timberland, what's their rose for that first quarter, and what is their thorn?
Yeah, Kane, it's not exactly what I expected from a first quarter, right? We talked a ton about Austin Humphrey and his legs, and to a certain extent, he has hurt you with his legs, but maybe not on the stat sheet. He's extended a lot of plays with his legs and found out throws outside the numbers. And the Rose, I think you have not looked a whole lot stronger than the Knights, but you have been bailed out by penalties. You've been bailed out by your coach making great adjustments. Yeah, I mean, you do have a bit of momentum right now, but it's nothing that the Knights can't come back from.
No. Seen plenty of first quarters start off a certain way, and that fourth quarter doesn't look anything similar. And here we go, Timberland. We'll get a nice gain there, up the middle run for 4 yards.
That was a gain of 3 yards, brings up 3rd and 6.
All right, big third down opportunity here. From 1st and 20 all the way down to a 3rd and 6. The Wolves have made progress. Is it enough to keep the sticks moving? Austin Humphrey drops back. Quick pass out right. And it looks like it'll be enough for the first. Ball up on the 45-yard line. First down, Timberland.
Yeah, Kane, you don't see that too often. You see a quick throw from under center. You typically see a shotgun throw there, but definitely fooled the defense.
Yeah. Again, it's unexpected is going to be a big focus for both sides tonight, and already has proven true. A lot of misdirections. Got to keep the defense guessing, or you're never going to win ball games.
Yeah, so you can tell there's been a lot of preparation from both sides. They understand their opponent, and they're trying to play to their weaknesses.
Sure. Handoff up the middle. Lots of green grass ahead. Cuts left and is wrapped up, but not after a big gain. Johnny Velasco.
A strength from both sides so far has been the tackling. You know, not great to have a big play like that to keep the sticks moving, but a great tackle from Bosley.
Yeah. So there's another flag on the play. Again, disciplined ball is going to be important tonight. So with all these penalties already hurting both teams, it's interesting to see what this one comes back as. That'll be holding on the offense. Timberland will get moved back. So after such a great effort there from Velasco, it won't result in much. Getting pushed back all the way around the 40, 50-yard line.
And that pushes you. You were getting closer to field goal range, and now it doesn't feel nearly as confident there.
Yeah, again, flipping field, flipping direction here after the quarter. Now you're going into that big wind, so something to watch. They do probably have to get within the 20-yard line for a field goal.
That's a great point. Totally slipped my mind.
And handoff up the gut. Good run. Keep those legs churning. A big run from Weinhardt. Moves it up inside the red zone, or right on the 20.
Yeah, Kane, we talk about the ball doesn't lie, but great players also don't lie. The hold brought that play back, but he just did it once again.
Absolutely. A phenomenal run there to follow his blockers until he got to open space, and then demonstrated that quickness, that shiftiness that everybody knows that he possesses. Why not give it right back to him? That one did not result in the same efficiency as the previous gain. That will be 0 yards. Forces a 2nd and 10.
Average still pretty good there.
Yeah. Excuse me, a loss of 1 on the play. Another tackle for loss here for the Knights. Their defensive line has looked strong.
Yeah, you mentioned the bend don't break mentality for the Wolves, but it's also been adapted to this Knights defense. They've looked fairly strong, penalties and not being prepared for the miscellaneous calls from the other team.
Humphrey back left corner of the end zone. And a catch. Touchdown, Timberland. A big catch there, Landon Keeley. Back left corner of the end zone to put the Wolves up 2.
Kane, that's just a great play from Keeley. Having the ability to follow that ball over his shoulder and get those 2 feet down, that's something that not every receiver can do at this level, and Keeley made a great play.
A beautifully placed ball by Humphrey, but an even better effort from Keeley. 13-0, so we'll see a kick into the wind now here by Cam Newsom. See what he's got under his belt, a lefty kicker. And a blocked kick with a chance to return.
They whistle it dead. Bosley was trying to take that home.
But there it is, a blocked kick. I don't know if that was a little bit of a mental error or if it was just all physical, something with the snap, but a blocked kick, and that could really come into play later, having that missed PAT.
Oh, certainly. That's only 2 field goals and a touchdown. Yeah.
So 13-0 jump for Timberland. Even with the blocked PAT, I think Timberland still has every bit of momentum on their side right now.
I totally agree.
I don't think that the Knights don't have any momentum or any, I don't think they've lost any confidence through that drive. I think your defense still looked really strong. 2 big plays that you allowed, but, everything in between was solid holds. So if you can clean up those big errors, I really think that you could piece together a good finish to the half here. 9 minutes, 45 seconds to go.
Yeah, and Kane, let's pretend like we can't see the scoreboard, right? We're just watching football. This defense has looked really strong for the Knights. There's been a lot of positive plays, and it's something that we haven't really seen in weeks of late. They've felt overmatched, and that's sort of changing, right? They're down 2 possessions right now, but they can continue this play. The luck will come their way eventually.
For sure. So back to kick now. After the missed PAT, Cam Newsom looking to send this one deep. Couldn't imagine they would want to give the Knights a return. But we'll see. Into the wind, so it might not be an option to kick it into the end zone. A short kick might go out of bounds, but they'll field it around the 20. Finds a lane. Mikey Miller, the freshman, on return. Open field, and he's swallowed up at the 29. Big return there from Miller. Turns a pretty rough starting field position into something that the offense can hopefully work with.
That yellow flag of death came out of the pocket. Let's see what the call is.
Over and over again tonight. Nothing like we saw against the St. Charles game. That one, total of 34 penalties through it.
Kane,
that was week 2 for the Knights.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen something like it.
That was surely something to watch. And Face mask called against Timberland. That'll move them up. Mikey Miller had the 12-yard return. Now you're going to add another 15 on, and now you're great starting field position if you're a Knight.
Yeah, we kind of moved over it, but what a great return from the freshman. He took a great angle. He took a ball that was fielded on the far left side of the field and ended out on the right. That's always a good sign, and he gave him a good return that got doubled just now.
Sure. So if you're the Knights here, do you think they look back to that slot C offense, or do you think you try to move a little more modern?
I do like the idea of throwing some slot T at them. It's something that will confuse them. It's not something they've seen a whole lot as a team. But, you know, from what I've seen so far in this game, I think the Wolves have also done their homework, so we'll see.
Champ Pauly, the handoff. Colin Conley gets a crease wrapped up around.
Simple zone play will always be effective.
And gain of 4 on the play, forces a 2nd and 6. Yeah, you say that that slot C, you know, it's unpredictable, and they haven't, you know, the Timberland hasn't seen much of it. But previous years, the only film that Timberland has to study is slot T. So, you know,
that's a valid point.
You're looking at something that they don't see a lot in game, but if you're looking at film, that is the only thing that they really have to study. And Champ Pauly hands it off once again. Colin Conley up the middle again for a 2-yard gain. So you're getting those little plays, but you just can't piece together a bunch of 2-yard runs to get a first down.
Yeah, that math doesn't add up, Kane.
So you gotta get off something a little bit bigger.
Yeah, they always talk about 4 a carry from a running back will always be good, but I mean that math adds up. 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12.
Now we're looking at 3rd and 3 opportunity. And that'll should be an offsides penalty. False start here on Timberland.
Yeah, it looks that one of those receivers and the running back in the backfield both were a little early there.
Yeah. I was looking defense. Offense jumped, so the defense jumped, and that'll result in a bad backup for him here. It'll be now a 3rd and 8 opportunity.
And that's such a killer. You know, you were looking at 3rd and 3, 3rd and short, but now it completely changes it. You're now standing on solidly your side of the field, and it's a completely different look here.
Absolutely. So running trips up on the top of your screen. Drops back, Champ Pauly. Screen pass. Just couldn't connect with him. A little miscommunication there.
Yeah, you can see Colin Conley visibly upset.
Hands over the face mask. Just not on the same page. I don't think that's anybody's fault. Those screen passes are so hard. The pressure in your face, you really can't see over those big defensive linemen. I mean, you're rocking multiple guys over 6'4" stature. It is tough to see over those hands. So, you know, nothing that the Knights, I don't think that's something you can hang your head about. It just happens. That's football. So.
Yeah, you know, as fans on the other side of the fence, you know, we're all playing Madden in college football. We run those screen plays all the time, and we think, oh, that's so easy. But that's a play that's really hard to run, right?
Yeah.
As a quarterback, you have to let the pressure come into your face to throw the ball.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and you see it there. It's easy to miscommunicate.
So not a great punt from Morgan Huff with the wind to his back. Be spotted right up around the 28-yard line. You know, so not great field position starting for Timberland. You got 7.5 minutes to work before this halftime break.
Time doesn't become a factor, but having to go 70-plus yards is not ideal.
Well, they've seen it done before with Timberland. All it takes is one explosive jump, and you're in trouble.
Yeah, Kane, I'm curious to see with this drive, at least on the stat sheet, Austin Humphrey hasn't really hurt the Knight defense. I'm curious to see if there's more design runs for him here.
And there's a run. Keeps it, heads out left. Delivering the block is Humphrey, and that will clear that ball up for a first down.
Quarterback out in the block game. You don't see that too often.
Nice run there by Velasco. He's been kind of an underground back tonight, but he has had a lot of explosive plays. Shorter stature, but he's been physical. He's been physical.
Yeah, and as a coach, you got to feed that hot hand. He's looked great, and you got to keep feeding him.
Yeah. So 3 receivers up at the top of your screen, running man coverage tonight. fakes handoff twice. Out of the backfield, up the right sideline. One man to beat. Stiff arms him and keeps going. Fights up to over the midfield mark and gets the first down. Riley Holstein, a great effort there.
Yeah, you saw the strength. Fighting off a tackle takes incredible leg strength, and you see it there. He's definitely in the gym.
Yeah, Riley Holstein, again, the biggest, most targeted receiver they have, and for good reason. A big guy. He can make defenders miss, and also if they don't miss, he can make sure that they don't get him down.
He can give a few a piggyback ride.
Yeah, so see how they implement that, later into the game and work him. But here's a hand up on the right sideline, breaks his tackle, and he'll get the first down. So 3 consecutive plays for 3 consecutive.
Oh, Kane, what are we seeing here?
But a fumble. Couldn't see it up on the top right sideline, but
no flag on the play. It looks to be clean. That's a fumble, and that's a great play from the Knight defense.
Francis Howell North falls on the football. I wasn't expecting that. It looked like a routine fall there, but Velasco, who we were just talking up, he had a great cut outside up the right sideline. Just couldn't hold on to the ball.
And that shows you the difficulty of ball security at times. We saw it earlier in the game with Champ Pauly. He's a great runner, but big hits can result in that ball coming out, and he put it on the carpet.
Absolutely. So now, if we were talking about good field position earlier, this is phenomenal field position. It would be a disappointing end to a drive if the Knights did not score here.
And it would be such a big pickup for this Knight offense if they are able to score here. Down 13 points as compared to being down 6 would be, definitely preferred.
Yeah. Lots of time on the clock. And there's a handoff out the backfield, wrapped up. Champ Pauly after a gain of 4.
And you see the unique play there. You don't see too many times where your quarterback is lined up at running back to take a direct snap from your backup.
If you're watching Francis Howell North, you do. That's that slot C working. You have different running backs, you got different quarterbacks, different receivers in the backfield all the time. It's just
there's no other word for it other than just unorthodox, right?
Yeah.
You're not prepared for what's going to happen. Offensive coordinator Coach Williams, he likes to keep his players and the opponent on their toes.
Cuts up Sammy Huron. Gets about 2-3 on the play, and that'll force a 3rd and 4.
Yeah, Mahurin, a bit of an underrated name for this Knight offense, right? He kind of gets overshadowed by the 2 great seniors, Champ Pauly, Colin Conley, but Sam, he has great bursts to him. He's a great number 2 running back behind Colin Conley.
Receiving back.
Yeah.
Gets a lot of looks outside, so he can make defenders miss, but also has that size that they want to keep him as a running back. And that he'll be swallowed up short of the line to gain. So what does this opportunity look like here on a 4th down? Do they stay on the field?
It appears that way. I'm not seeing Mo Huff running onto the field. If I had to predict here, Kane, time's ticking down in the second half. You have 2 timeouts. I would hard count here, try to get the defense to jump, get yourself a new set of downs.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think we're looking at like a short play action rollout. I don't see running the ball to be the best option here. Stacking the box is Timberland. Heavy pressure on him. And a short pass tipped away by the D lineman. A big play.
And that's a great recovery from Timberland. The fumble, you're really worried you're handing the ball to those Knights with only about 28 yards to work with, and you held them.
And Jacob Davidson there with the swat. And that'll keep them, force the turnover on downs. 4th and 3, a risky call. Now, as a play caller for the Knights, you're regretting not taking those 3, but you don't know if you don't throw. So,
well, and you bring up a great point with wind. It's unpredictable. The conditions are a factor in itself. It's a slippery playing for surface. Kicking maybe isn't your top option, but I think I would have picked the kick there.
Yeah, wrapped up in the backfield. A big tackle. And they'll get the assist there. Javon Godfrey and Z Berger getting the wrap-up collective in the backfield, forcing a 2nd and 13. So if you're the Knights, you got to get a stop and you got to put points on the board. If you're Timberland, you're trying to do everything in your power to obviously to score, but I think the more important thing is keeping the Knights shut out here in the first half. And there's a wide receiver screen, fights off a defender and keeps going. Phenomenal running up the sideline. Nathaniel Reach. You don't see that very often. I mean, gets a guy on him, had a solid 2-second conversation with him as he shoved him into the dirt and continued up the sideline to do it again and then keep chugging along.
Yeah, Kane, to put it bluntly, that was a disgusting stiff arm.
He's just a sophomore, a big tight end sophomore. It'll be incredible to see where he gets.
That is a big boy
in his career. And
Looks
that'll
to
be on the offense. Block in the back on Timberland. So the great effort from Reach, but it won't matter.
All for the highlight reel.
Definitely something that he'll be back and he'll be looking for. So this forces up a big 2nd down. Obviously the Knights accept the penalty to prevent the 1st down.
Yeah, Jackson Pfeiffer on Reich here. You know, you can't help but be a little intimidated to go press man coverage here. He's back in zone here.
Pfeiffer not the biggest corner.
No, but he's definitely crafty would definitely be the word I would use for Jackson Pfeiffer. An interception on the season, not too many blown coverages. He will, if you give him a job, he'll get that job done.
And roll out. Humphrey up the right sideline, stays in bounds, will not get much more.
And that's a great tackle.
Catch.
Looks like Jackson Pfeiffer hobbling a little bit after that big play.
And DeAndre Jones, the one to make the reception for the Wolves. Yeah, an interesting decision to have Pfeiffer covering one of the biggest guys on the field.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, Kane, he doesn't blow his coverage very often. He's a very strong corner out there. He's experienced. He's been a four-year player for these Knights. You know, he's definitely the guy here.
So a big 3rd and 11 opportunity. Knights defense looking to stay off the field, and it will be blown dead before it got started.
I'm not sure we see Jackson Pfeiffer on this next series. He looks a bit hobbled heading to the sideline.
Looks like his left leg, something in his knee. Talking to coach currently.
Give him a drink of water, give him a rest.
Should be all right. And that'll move the ball up for a 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6. Not sure what the penalty was. Looks like a false start there on the defense. So it turns to 3rd and 11. Again, those penalties hurting them. The 3rd and 11 to a 3rd and 6. That's a completely different mindset as a football team. Here they go. 3 out wide. And looks deep. Sky Owens can't make the catch. Great coverage by the Knights.
Kane, that's been a good formula for these Wolves. They have a traditional drop back, and they have great catch artists out wide. He gets his feet in. That was a great catch.
Davion Dancer to break up the pass there. Knocks him out of bounds. 4th and 6 coming. Cam Newsom to punt. So this will be the telling tale here for the first half. This possession is the biggest. Ball falls short. Almost ran into it, and then that would have been a killer. He didn't know where the ball was. But
unpredictable conditions, you get unpredictable results. That was a weird kick.
The wind coming straight back is not a lot of opportunity to punt that one deep. Cam Newsom looking strong on his first punt from the 30 down to the other 20. That time from the 30 up until the 50. So, you know, that wind is a big factor in field position tonight.
Tristan Bosley, the gunner, into the huddle. Kane, you know, that was a heartbreaker on that last that last possession, you really want to score here. If I'm this North offense, I want to get Champ running a little bit more. You saw that on that first possession, and you looked really strong. And you've kind of gone away from that, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, didn't see it there. Handoff to Conley, and he's wrapped up for a loss of 2. Brings up a 2nd and 12. So just ticking under the 2-minute mark here.
Loss of 3 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 13.
All right, 2nd and 14 opportunity. Clock is ticking. Do you see some aerial attack here if you're the Knights?
Yeah, I think you have to, right? It's 2nd and long.
No, you don't. Champ Pauly takes off with his legs, uses that dual threat action.
I'm happy to use my announcer curse as a weapon there.
And that's a good play there. Champ Pauly runs for 12 and pushes it up to a 3rd and 2. Big play for the Knights. And Knights call a timeout with a 1.5 left. That'll be their 2nd, leaving 1 remaining.
Kane, as this half ticks down, I do have to remind you I have to split here. I am on homecoming court along with Studline. I have a busy halftime. Kane will get you for the rest of this half. I will be returning in the 2nd. Kane, show him a good one.
I will. Have so much fun, man. Congratulations on homecoming court. All right, so I'll take you away here for this last 1.5 of play here in this first half contest. Again, Timberland Wolves up 13-0 over the Francis Howell North Knights. So the timeout taken by North, bringing up a big 3rd and 3 opportunity. It's excited to see what they will draw up. Timberland defense, again, bend don't break right here. I think it's not a bend, it's a full-on stop is what you're needing. If you force them shutout into half as Timberland, the energy in that locker room is a lot different and a lot more in your favor. Lines up. 2 tight end look for the Knights. Keeps it on the ground, and it's going to be dependent on the spot. It looks short from here, but we'll see if Colin Conley could reach for it. And a 4th and 1 opportunity. They'll rule him short. If you're the Knights, there's no reason not to run this football here. Punting puts you in basically the same position you would otherwise. You're going to give them the ball back in the 25. See what they do here. Slot tease, stack the box. No tush-push action. Hands it off up the middle. Will they give him the first? Timberland doesn't seem to think so. It'll all be dependent on the spot. We've said that before tonight. Pile clears. And will they pull out the chains here? It's coming down to mere inches. A measurement timeout, so we will pull out the chains to see this. It's a real dependent part of this game, whatever this call is. It's going to be a big motivating and physical factor as this clock ticks away here. A minute left in the game. So they'll see that ball is just creeping up on that 40-yard line, the mark to reach. And the orange eye starts making its way out to the ball. Both sides holding their breaths, fingers crossed. Both for different reasons. On the 40-yard line, they'll put the marker down. Taking their sweet time here. And they'll place it. See what the call is. 3 officials to make the ruling. Both sidelines pointing in opposite directions, north and south. They can't decide. Not sure what the holdup is here. They'll give them the first down. Timberland is shocked, but the Knights will get the first down. Could be one of the longest measurement timeouts that I have ever seen. but they'll get the first and continue the drive. 54 seconds, 1 timeout on the clock. The Knights looking to put some points up here. The wind to their back. Carson Howard again back to kick. He has the shoulder injury, but his legs were looking good today in warm-ups, hitting from 45 with the wind to his back. So line to get to somewhere in that 25 to 30 range would be Carson Howard's probably about his max. Anywhere inside there I think is definitely doable for him. Obviously looking touchdown, but a field goal would be greatly appreciated here if you're the Knights. Clock is ticking. Drops back. Champolli looks deep. David Beeger never had a play on the ball. Sky Owens, the D-back, to have great coverage on that and not let Beeger get open. Sky Owens plays both sides of the ball, corner and receiver. Same with David Beeger. You know, he's corner and receiver. He's plays both sides, so it's cool to see both of those guys, you know, with kind of a same, you know, magnet. They got that north side, that you know, they have the north side and the south side, so it's cool to see them kind of play both sides of the ball. Which is how it is with a lot of high school players. I mean, if you have that talent, it's something that, you know, it's a little controversial to have, you know, you only have so many guys on a roster and to play a guy on 2 sides and maybe even kickoffs if they're that talented. But if they have the talent, I say use it. And a halfback screen there broken up. Ball falls incomplete, and it'll force a big 3rd down. Ball broken up there by Braeden Sweeney, the sophomore, getting good minutes tonight. It's his 2nd broken up pass. So if you're third and 10 here, ball on the 40, so even with that spot, they have not advanced the football. You're going to need something here. I think even if it's not a 1st down, you have that 4th down play. You're definitely out of field goal range now, but could you squeak it back in 5 yards? I think you have it. And a deep pass. Champolli sideline to an open receiver. Could not reel it in. Just a bit of an overthrow. And a crushing one there for the Knights as they had the opportunity. Winston Cregan up the sideline. Winston, a freshman, wide receiver, and also plays corner on occasion. 5'9", a bit of a smaller build. Going to force a big 4th and 10. So as a Knight, you're looking at a pretty big field goal here. Okay, you're looking at a 57-yarder, not exactly manageable. Again, with that wind, you might be able to squeak it, but I don't think Carson Howard, despite being a phenomenal kicker, has that 57-yarder in him, or that you trust that into half. Also, you're looking at a 10-yard play, which is, you know, they have not been givens tonight on either sides of the ball. 32 seconds left here in the half. This 2-minute offense in high school football, it always is, but those last 2 minutes of any half are always the most exciting. 13-0 ball game, but that can change in an instant. You know, you have so many talented guys on the field. On offense, you have guys that can make plays, and on defense, you have guys that can also make plays. So it's just all over the field. You might see a fumble on this play. You might see a 40-yard touchdown. You just don't know. Champolli in the gun. Quick pass. Wide receiver. And it'll be a flea flicker. Goes deep to a wide open receiver. In high school football, you never know. 35 yards. David Beeger. An absolute shocking play. The student section is electric. 25 seconds. They get up to the line. Will they spike it? They will spike the ball to stop the clock. No timeouts left for the Knights. So that'll force a 2nd and goal. But a flea flicker opportunity. Champolli throws it back to David Beeger, who takes the shot deep downfield. Harrison McGowan, the one to make the catch on the 5. Again, this is his first reception on the night. He's a 6'1", 175 sophomore. A big guy, so it'll be cool to see how he progresses in this high school journey. Definitely a playmaker on the field, though, as we just saw there. Stadium's alive. Champolli keeps himself, rolls out right, doesn't find anybody, and loses the ball on the sideline. A fortunate one there. Champ Pauly pushed out around the 6-yard line. So 16 seconds, a third down, and again, 6 yards to go here. See what the Knights can draw up. I've said this a lot, but this is the biggest play of the half. 16 seconds. And it could happen next time if it doesn't work out here and they decide to go for it on 4th down, which I couldn't imagine you do, being this close in chip shot field goal range. But the Knights preying on a touchdown. Timberland looking to hold. Bend, don't break. Champ drops back to throw 4 wide. And it's almost intercepted. In and out of the hand. Just one. Riley Holstein, the receiver for Timberland. He is their wide receiver 1 and just about made a game-saving play. And they could be looking to go for it. The Knights with some risky play calls here this first half. This will be their second chance where they could have taken the 3, but instead decide to go for 6. Didn't work out the first time. Preying on it here the second time. 3 up at the top of your screen. Mahurin and Beeger, 2 to watch. Pauly rolls out left. Over the middle. Nowhere to go. It looked like Mahurin was trying to cut back and was thrown to the ground by a corner, but no call there. Might have been could have been judged uncatchable by the official. Either way, the Knights not happy about it. So they'll come off the field with another scoreless possession, and that, again, as a play caller, we already had this situation that me and Braeden talked about earlier, where it's like, I like the aggressiveness, but at the same time, 3 points is 3 points. So you just took another opportunity inside the 10-yard line and got nothing out of it. So Timberland here, I would imagine a run to just stall out the rest of this half. They'll take a knee. So Austin Humphrey leading his team to a 13-0 half. Just a great start for Timberland. Momentum, that is one thing that I love to talk about in high school football. And right now it looks like Timberland has it. The Knights were absolutely rolling throughout that first. But that last drive just killed it. I mean, heading into the locker room now, the coach has to say, that's on me. That was a completely coach-driven play call. It's disappointing as a Knight, but Timberland, a great half there on offense and on defense, holding the Knights in the red zone multiple occasions, keeping them out of the red zone multiple occasions on the offensive side of the ball. Big plays being made all over the field. Sky Owens has had a couple nice grabs. Weinhardt has had a bunch of great runs. DeAndre Jones with a couple nice catches. But really, the one guy, Tristan Moss, who they've handed the ball off to a couple times tonight, he's been a rock-solid running back for him. Austin Humphrey, obviously the quarterback, just making plays for his team the whole night. So, again, both sides, great first half. Some things to clean up for them. I know there's some turnovers and everything, but I think both sides, again, this homecoming football game for the Knights, one that they desperately would like to win. Not that they don't want to win any other games, but homecoming is just a completely different experience. It's the buzz all week. Everybody is in attendance tonight. So the Knights got a lot to talk about here over halftime. We'll see what they can clean up here in the second. Timberland got to continue what they're doing. But for now, that will be the end of our first half. We'll take about a 15-minute break, and we'll be back to join you for the second half of action. Again, I'm Kane Manfull. Braeden Kettinger will be back for the second half. We will see you soon.
Let's hear it for the Nightline and the Stud Line. We hope that you all are excited for the Student Council's annual homecoming dance tomorrow night at 7 p.m. It'll be our first dance in the new building, and it should be a lot of fun. With over 1,000 students attending, it will surely be the best homecoming FHN has had. And now, students and fans in the audience, it is time to introduce your 2024 homecoming court. We have Sophia Johnson. She's involved in speech and debate, Max Scholars, and golf. She's passionate about activism, baking, and golf. She aspires to be a lawyer, run for public office, and become a senator or congresswoman. Escorting her is Jaden Brown. He is involved in Max Scholars, mock trial, and marching band. He enjoys hanging out with friends and playing basketball. Jaden plans to go to the University of Columbia to be a lawyer. Secondly, for the freshman class, we have Kelsey Spores. Kelsey is involved in volleyball and enjoys hanging out with her friends. After high school, she aspires to pursue a degree in law. Escorting her is Ty Bell. Bell plays football and enjoys wrestling as well. He plans to go to college after high school. First, for the sophomore class, we have Danielle Westhoff. He plays volleyball and runs track. She spends her free time hanging out with friends and family as well as playing volleyball. She wants to attend Lindenwood to be an athletic trainer. Escorting her is Tyler Ortmeyer. He plays soccer and his hobbies include cooking and spending time with his friends and family. He plans to go to college for forensics. Secondly, for the sophomore class, we have Charlie Vogel. Vogel is a Nightline dancer who is also involved in DECA. She enjoys cooking and running. Post-high school, she wants to join a college dance team. Escorting her tonight is Harrison McGowan. He plays football, basketball, golf, and is involved in DECA. In his free time, Harrison likes to drive boats and go fast. He also enjoys hunting. After high school, he plans to pursue football and bake cakes. First, for the junior class, we have Morgan Smith. Morgan is involved in National Honor Society, Knights of Excellence, journalism, basketball, and soccer. Her hobbies include sports, going out to eat, hanging out with her friends and family, and playing with her dog. In college, she plans on playing soccer and majoring in the health sciences area. She is escorted this evening by Cameron Burris. Cameron plays baseball and is involved in National Honor Society and Knights of Excellence. He likes to work out, be outside, and hang out with friends. Cameron wants to study mechanical engineering at a four-year college. Secondly, for the junior class, we have Ellie McCoy. Ellie is involved in soccer, National Honor Society, Knights of Excellence, DECA, and FBLA as a junior officer. Some of her hobbies include sports, traveling, and hanging out with her friends and family. Ellie wants to go to college out of state to study radiology. Escorting her is Ethan Scott. Ethan is involved in soccer, basketball, MAC Scholars, FCA, and National Honor Society. As a hobby, he likes to play soccer. Post high school, Ethan plans to attend college and play soccer. And now let's put your hands together for the senior class. First up for our senior class, we have Mallory Barker. Mallory is the editor for our school's sports photo staff. She enjoys taking sports pictures, reading, and most importantly, hanging out with her dog, Bubby. She plans on going to Mizzou for journalism. Escorting her tonight is Sean Borgschulte. He's involved in golf, National Honor Society, and Knights of Excellence. He enjoys playing the piano, going to the gym, and golfing. Sean plans on majoring in aerospace engineering at Missouri S&T and getting his private pilot's license. Secondly, we have Rachel Brumer. She's involved in golf, track, band, Knights of Excellence, FCCLA, and National Honor Society. She enjoys spending time with her friends and family. She aspires to major in civil engineering. Rachel is thankful for all the support her friends, teachers, and family have offered. Escorting her tonight is Samuel Fitzsimmons. He is involved in National Honor Society, FBLA, DECA, volleyball, and FCA. He enjoys playing volleyball, getting confused for his twin brother 24/7, and hanging out with his friends. Sam wants to attend college and pursue an MBA. Lastly, we have Brianna Dunham. She is the editor-in-chief of sports photography in FHN Publications, a senior class delegate, and plays lacrosse. She enjoys photography, watching football with her grandpa, traveling, and playing Minecraft with her little sister. She plans on attending Mizzou to major in journalism or communications. Once she graduates, she would like to pursue NFL photography. She would like to thank her mom for teaching her to always be her authentic self. She is escorted by Braeden Kettinger. He's an editor for sports staff, a class delegate, and participates in Iron Knights. Braeden is a big Cardinals fan and loves going to sporting events with his family. He also enjoys playing golf with his friends and naps. After high school, he plans to study journalism or public relations at Mizzou. He wants to become a sports analyst at a publication and would like to thank his family and friends. So let's hear it for the Francis Howell North 2024 Homecoming Courts. Now carrying the crowns this evening are Olivia and Jack Keel, children of Mrs. Keel. Mrs. Keel teaches journalism and publications classes at FHN. Olivia's hobbies include dance, soccer, and coloring. She would like to be a mom when she grows up. Jack's hobbies include t-ball and Legos. He would like to be a firefighter when he grows up. To crown the next FHN King and Queen, welcome to the field Elena Lohaus and Ethan McCoy, last year's King and Queen. And now, get ready for the big announcements. Your 2024 FHN Homecoming King is Sean Borgschulte. And your 2024 FHN Homecoming Queen is Mallory Barker. Congratulations, Sean and Mallory, and all of our court.
he just put on out there.
Thank you, thank you.
Again, a great first half from both sides. Halftime was, something to watch. We had our homecoming court come out from all 4 grade levels. We had a tent blow away on the far side, showing that the wind might be
Oh my gosh,
up
I didn't see that.
a little bit. It went all the way from the sideline, and it's now blown clear over the hill.
That is good.
We'll see that later.
Yeah, that was quite a marathon.
Yeah.
Did a lot of sprinting, but that'll be my exercise for today. I'm talking about athletes exercising. I need to do a little exercise myself,
Got to keep it on the same level.
While I was down on the field, I did get some good insight moving into our analysis here. It's not a sideline that feels very invigorated, right? They are, a little down, but I think that can change, right? While I was down there, after they came back they seemed a lot more energized. They seemed ready to play this football game. And down 13 is not something that is, they're not down for the count by any means. It's a 2-possession game. It's less than 2 touchdowns and a PAT. If you score 2 PATs and 2 touchdowns, you got to lead.
Yeah. To miss that blocked field goal earlier in the half for Timberland was definitely something that could, prove important here as we continue into the second half. But here's the kickoff from Cam Newsom.
Yeah, we saw a holder.
Booted.
We saw a holder on the kickoff. You don't see that too often.
Don't see that often, but again, going back to that.
I felt those winds myself, Kane. Those are legit.
Yeah, again, 16 mile an hour. It was, it's blowing steady here the entire night. Temperatures dropping now. The feels like it's 52 degrees. We're not even in October yet, so it's getting to be some chilly football. I'm glad to be in the booth with you tonight.
2024 is an interesting weather year, that's for sure, Kane.
Absolutely.
Provide some interesting challenges for these football games.
Yeah. Opening up, first play of the half. Knights will get the football after electing to defer a couple quarters ago. And is that a fumble first play? Miscommunication. Timberland falls on it, and that is a fumble recovery on Timberland. Might get a little excessive celebration penalty here.
That is about as bad as a start you could have asked for there. I talked about how they were a lot more energized, and it sucks to see that kind of go down the toilet maybe. There. Yeah.
Well, the Knights turn the ball over, play 1 of the half, and that quite literally will set up a red zone opportunity for Timberland.
The positive I will remind the Knights of here is they had this exact situation happen to them late in that half. They gave the ball, or they were given the ball in the red zone, and they were stopped by that red zone defense from Timberland. Yeah. Let's flip the script here, and let's do the same.
Yeah, it's definitely something that the Knights got to keep on the mind here, but it's the flag back in the pocket, ready to make the call. Sure, it's an unsportsmanlike conduct. Start walking it back. Unsportsmanlike conduct, and that'll push them back 15. So that red zone opportunity taken away. High school football, it's rough. I mean, you don't get a lot of celebration opportunity. You're not allowed to put a hand up on your way into the end zone. Is that seen as, it's unsportsmanlike conduct. I mean, at that high school level, it's just there's not a lot of room for celebration.
Yeah, I mean, at all levels, right? Like, you get a little bit more leeway when you get to college and the NFL, but those guys still get penalized for their celebrations too.
Get fined at a higher level.
Yeah, let's keep it clean,
Austin Humphrey, the man of the night so far. His throws have been on it. He's been, great leader out there for him. The back's really carrying the load, though, I will say. And nice run there up the gut.
Yeah, building on kind of what you were saying, I feel like in football, the term field general gets a really bad rap as it's, just an average quarterback. But in my personal opinion, I think he's played the field general role to a T, and that's not a bad thing. There's no shame in playing that role awesome, and you're giving your team a chance to win every game when you do that.
Yeah, nice run there from Weinhardt. He's had himself a night. I mean, somebody I didn't watch a ton of film on, didn't look at a lot of stat sheets over him, but he has really excelled tonight. And there's an out route. Will it be caught? No completion there.
I'm not sure the acting skills will get him that catch.
No, Riley Holstein was not able to haul that short pass in. And Pfeiffer comes off still limping. Saw that first half too.
Yeah, he was part of that stud line performance. I'm sure the extra time on his legs didn't help anything.
Yeah, not as much of a break as these other guys have had.
Yep.
So sets up 3rd and 6 opportunity. Quick pass outside, breaks a tackle, and he'll get the first down and more. Up the sideline, touchdown Timberland, DeAndre Jones, the sophomore.
That was a great play from the young player. He turned on that second gear as soon as he got to the next level of defense, and he got 6.
Punches it in to push the lead to 19-0. DeAndre Jones, what an effort. You have that short pass, 3rd and 6, a play call that can go one of two ways. It gets swallowed up in the backfield, or you break it off like that, showing his quickness, showing his acceleration. DeAndre Jones, he's had himself a night. This is 3rd catch of the game, and that one for 6. And there we go, Cam Newson to punt it through. Not only doing kickoffs, also working the punt a little bit. So.
Yep. Kane, that's something they've been doing well all night. They've been turning little gains into big plays all night, and it's working for them. They've now turned this into a 3-possession football game, and right now I see no reason why they can't continue to build.
No, Knight's secondary has got to clean up that tackling. We talked about it. We're putting a little, like, I don't know how to describe it. We were talking them up, I guess, that first half, both open field tackling, and the Knights look like they've tired out here. I mean, once you got to that second level, like you said, he just took off, and even though you had the sideline as basically another big defender, he just couldn't pull it together.
Yeah, I think when you're heading out on this field again, Champ Pauly has a big job on his hands. He needs to build this confidence back up for the Knights, because right now that flame is dying. This wind that we keep talking about, the metaphorical wind, is putting out this fire for the Knights, and they need to keep building.
Yeah, oxygen keeps the fire going, but right now there's a little bit too much of it in the air. 11 minutes to go in this half, and a turnover already for the Knights. Cam Newsom back to kick. Seeing a holder on this one as well. Booted into the end zone. Not sure we'll see a return. And it hits all the way to the back of the track to the fence.
Kane, we mentioned that St. Charles game that we had the chance to commentate earlier, and we mentioned the ton of penalties, but there were a lot of positives in that game. That was the highest scoring game that North has had up to this point. Yeah, they put up 30 points, and like that, in this situation, they do need to put up quite a few points in just a half. But we saw it before. They have this offensive prowess where a guy like Champ Pauly can just take over a football game. He can get out wide, get outside the numbers, and find a great throw. I don't see why they can't do it here. They just need to keep building on that confidence.
It just takes a couple plays. That's all it does. Like we said, the flea flicker at the end of the half, where David Beeger got the toss, and that's a good start if they're going to try to make this comeback. Getting the running game, big chunks like that. Colin Conley with the ball carrier.
Build on your strengths.
He'll push his way up for 8.
Build on your strengths. Colin Conley's been a very positive part of this team all year. Continue.
Knights taking the time to huddle. Long second half to play. A lot can happen in as much time as they have, 22 minutes. But a lot can happen in just a few. See what happens on this drive. 4 wide set. Champ Pauly drops to throw. In the gun. Deep. Targeted Beeger. Catchable football, but it's broken up. Great defensive effort.
There's a flag down on the field. That's got to be pass interference.
Stoney Billings, the senior, to break up that pass. This might be North's homecoming. That Wolves student section is packed, and they are energetic.
I don't think they think it's a North homecoming.
No,
they just
doesn't
view
matter
this
to
as
them.
any other road game.
See what the call is here. Face mask.
I was right and I was wrong, sort of. I
had the right idea.
I consider face mask sort of pass interference, right?
That'll push him up. First down for the Knights.
Still wins. It's like he caught that ball.
Yeah. So Champ Pauly threw a catchable ball, a little behind his receiver. That'll make it a new set of downs for him. 1st and 10, ball up on the 37-yard line.
Now, Kane, I do kind of want your opinion. In the professional level, we see that the pass interference gets you to the spot of the ball. But in high school, that's not the case.
And a fumbled snap. Another one. Will Timberland fall on the football for a second time in a row? No, the Knights will recover. A sigh of relief on the black and gold sideline.
I'm sure everyone on that sideline just skipped a heartbeat.
That would have been a crusher. I mean, we talk about as much, tons of time left in this contest, but turnovers like that, the fumbles, they can just really kill.
Giving away possessions kills a bunch of time. It
in
kills
the field
a lot
position that they are right now.
Exactly. This is a really promising drive. Let's, if you're on that north sideline, let's not screw it over.
Yeah, I mean, you might have gotten the ball back, but you still gave the other team a chance, so that's not something that you want to continue. And the handoff, Colin Conley breaks through some tackles, but couldn't get there. Colin beating himself up for that one. He knew he had the gap.
Yeah, he's visibly upset. That's a play that he knows he can make, and it's upsetting. Like a lot of these guys, they're not playing to their full strength.
Keeping a cool head is a tough one. There, Jacob Foster trying to calm him down. Colin Conley will be subbed off. He just
give him a breather.
He gets in his own head about that one. He had the gap, just got tripped up. This forces a big 3rd and 14 opportunity. Ball on the 32-yard line. Pauly drops back, sends the ball deep, and it's picked off up around the 41-yard line. Timberland with another takeaway.
Kane, that's just another one of those plays you're seeing from North where you're watching it, it looks really great, but the results are not what you're wanting. And as a building program, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but for these players right now who just want to win, it's a really upsetting result.
Again, you're working in the new playbook. You're working in some overturning coaching staff, some new players, and got some freshmen, some sophomores coming up to play for you. It's a good, it's good change that North needed. They've struggled the previous years. They haven't had a winning record since 2016, so that the big change is probably going to work out well for them in the upcoming years. But right now, these players, they want to win. But that really could fuel them to keep going. A big run, breaks it off, fights through defenders for a big gain.
Building on what we were kind of just saying, Kane, the biggest thing that you can
Brandon McKee with the run.
From a coaching perspective, from a player perspective, from a fan perspective, preaching patience is an important thing. Building a program and building a system into a team is something that does take time. Taking time, and right now it's hard to just switch from something so polarizing from slot T all the way to spread. It's going to take some time. So plays like that where, sure, it ended in an INT, but it was a great drop back from Champ Pauly. It was a strong throw. It just didn't fall in the right hands.
Yeah. Pass is dropped on that one. Miles Roby drops the ball. Hit a great stiff arm up last half. Pair of them, actually. See if they can work in the big tight end again. Forces up a 2nd and 10 opportunity. North looking to shut him down. Gets the carry. McGee up the sideline. Fights for another first down. Back-to-back carries. And Braeden McKee will have another big play. We didn't see him at all in the first half make a big effort. Not a big effort, but I guess we didn't see, some efficiency out of him. And now we've seen 2 plays combining for 24 yards. That's just, that's something to take into consideration. They have the depth in the backfield. We've seen McKee already. We've seen Weinhart. We've seen a little bit of Austin Humphrey running the ball around. But they've just been working the ball to whoever they really want to. If Velasco has had some nice ones, he did have the fumble earlier. But that backfield depth is important. Short screen, Roby wide open, and he'll take it for 6. The tight end all the way. Couldn't have asked for a better start to the half as the Timberland Wolves. Miles Roby, the sophomore, the big sophomore tight end, takes that one to the house.
Kane, these Wolves continue to pack into the end zone. That makes it a 4-possession lead.
They are schooled up hard right now, and that will be just another crushing play for this Knights defense. Cam Newson to tack on another extra point. So this could put it to a 27-0 ball game. And as a Knights fan, you like to stay optimistic, of course. But that comeback, 13-0, is a lot different from 27-0. 5 minutes, 14 points. That's not good. That is something you have to change.
Yeah, I definitely consider myself an old school football fan. I love a tight scoring game, but I'm also a proponent that the game's not over until the final whistle. And sure, it doesn't look great, but you have to play like it's 0-0 every single play of this football game, and hopefully that can get the Knights somewhere. It's definitely not a good thing to be in the losing category on your homecoming game, so let's try not to make that happen.
Yeah,
right?
North is going to use that homecoming spirit, the home field advantage, to their advantage, hopefully, and try to fuel this comeback. Timberland, though, pedal to the metal. You can't let up now. You got two takeaways. You got a fumble and a pick already. Haven't even been 5 minutes into the second half. Defense is on all cylinders, setting up the offense beautifully, and the offense is just taking advantage of it. Again, Miles Roby there with a big 41-yard touchdown.
Yeah,
and that one's fielded at the 1. They will return it for one of the first times tonight. Cuts it back and will be stopped around the 21-yard line. In high school football, they do not give you forward progress, so the Knights did get pushed back, and they will get the ball where he was tackled. So at a college level, it's forward progress, so you can make it 5 yards upfield and get pushed back a few, stay on your feet, but you'll still get those 5 yards that you progressed. But high school, it's not the same.
Yeah, it kind of kills the creativity for those juke artists that, they'll get 5 yards up the field and then, I'm going to turn around and let's try to get more. But,
So the Knights really do hope to keep this within 35. High school rules, you put it to a 35-point game, it's running clock. So that tears away the team. You have to keep it within 35 if you're the Knights within these next few minutes, because you start letting that clock run 12 minutes, turns into a lot less than you expect it to be from a coaching and from a player standpoint.
Yeah, Kane, that brings up a great question, though. Say you're Timberland and you get the ball another time with no score from the Knights. Do you sort of stat pad here? Do you go for 2 to try to make it 35? Because then you add a second enemy to the Knights here. You're playing against Timberland, but you're also playing against the clock.
Yeah. Champ Pauly there with a nice run, but he's limping hard, trying to walk it off. I talked about it a lot last game, but Champ Pauly,
he's going to take this play off.
Yeah, he'll come off.
You're going to be careful with your quarterback.
Joey Ingracia subs on, but again, at high school, you need to have position depth, quarterback especially, because you always have these just risky injuries, especially with a running back or a quarterback with the running back capabilities. You see Champ trying to walk it off, but it's nice to have the depth of Joey Ingracia there, because grades change. You can get suspended for that. Injuries happen, missing practices. Colin Conley runs over a defender for the first. But again, it's nice to have the position depth, so in case something happens to Champ Pauly like that, you're not stuck on an island here, per se, without a confident quarterback. And they were getting Joey Ingracia some reps last week. So good to see him. Players all trust him. Players all like him. He's not some random guy they pulled out of the bleachers to come play quarterback for him. So he's been with the program a while.
Yeah, I totally agree. To simplify it, honestly, there's just a lot more outside factors that can affect your play on the football field when you're at the high school level. Yeah. While you were talking, I was kind of
Conley breaks a big run, spins out of the tackle, and he takes off up the sideline. He won't be caught. Toe taps up the left sideline and breaks it for a huge gain. Player down for the Wolves. Stony Billings around the 45-yard line and a flag. But a great run from Colin Conley to cool his head on the last possession, come back and make a phenomenal effort there up the sideline.
Yeah, Kane, while that play was developing, I've kind of been paying attention to how Champ has been speaking with the trainer. At first, it didn't really seem very promising. He did not look very upset, but as we're speaking, he's taking jogs down this sideline. I would expect to see him back in a few plays.
And Zach Mecklin, the the linebacker there trying to take down Colin Conley and just couldn't get there in time. He did end up tripping him a little bit to slow the run.
Yeah, Colin had to run the tightrope there. It definitely slows down your pace a little bit.
End of the day,
I feel like football players don't get enough credit for that. It's a very tough thing. You have to place your feet within a 6-inch little box right here for step, while big men are trying to tackle you.
One of the old Miss clips from last year was tiptoeing his Jordans up the sideline, and that's one that I like. You know, can't crease him. You just got to stay right on that line, and
I totally agree.
That's what Colin Conley did there. End of the day, we have looks to be offsetting penalties.
Offsetting penalties are always something so interesting because it technically doesn't affect the play, but you still have to acknowledge the foul.
We cannot hear the referee. His mic was not turned on, so I do not know what he just called. Unsportsmanlike on the Knights. And maybe it wasn't offset. It looked like they had pointed over at Timberland. But perhaps not.
What will be the result of that play? Is the play coming back?
It appears to be.
And that's such a killer. You had a great play from your lead back, and he just sort of regained your momentum, and now it's shot right back. You can see the frustration on his face.
Yeah. But, you know, that still gives you confidence as a program, you know, to have, you know you have that ability. Unsportsmanlike conduct, being what called that back sucks. But it's not like you had a holding penalty that gave you the opportunity.
Yeah.
You made that play all on your own. The unsportsmanlike was just an unfortunate break for you.
That was a completely clean play.
So you know you have the capabilities to do it. You know you have the assets. You know you have the skills. You just got to connect on that again. But now we are taking under 6 minutes, or in the, I guess, this second half of this third quarter.
Your outlook looks very different here.
Yeah. Instead of being down inside the other 20, you're back almost within your own. But a big run there will put them up. About a 5-6 yard pickup. You're on second down. That 1st and 20 is always a bad one to start on. Colin Conley, nice run.
We had another instance there. You know, the ball doesn't lie. Colin had a great run there that, you know, wasn't aided by any holding, like you said, and he just had another good run right after that.
Sure. Ball up on the 34-yard line. And a wide receiver screen. Beeger cannot come down with it. That'll force a big third down.
Bit of a medicine ball there.
So it's a clock ticking under 5 minutes here. A 3rd and 14, a big play. We've had a lot of big plays tonight, but not a lot of big yardage plays. I mean, we've had a lot of important plays. We haven't had a lot of, turn it upfield and go for 45.
Yeah,
there have
agree.
been a couple.
That play getting called back from Colin Conley definitely shaves off a lot of that total yardage that we were potentially going to see. Yeah, it's been a weird football game, right? If you were to just look at the score, I feel it doesn't really tell the story of the game.
It never does. It never does.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe just the analysis that I take into these games, right? As a fan, it's really interesting to look like, the score reads 27-0. So you would think it's just been a completely one-sided contest when I think in moments it has been, but I don't think that's the case for the whole game.
And there was a little flat route run there. Colin Conley couldn't reel it in. A little overthrown from Joey Ingracia.
Yeah, the drop back kind of had a screen shape to it, but it didn't. It was kind of weirdly paced. It was kind of a weird play.
Yeah. And there was, even if Colin Conley would have caught that, there were 3 defenders on his back. It wasn't going to be much of an open field opportunity.
It's a bit of another medicine ball there.
Yeah. 4th down here, and Mohawk back to punt. I will say during halftime, I went over and was talking to some students for Francis Howell North, and they don't see the game. I didn't realize how much of a different view they had of the game. Not point of view, but I guess take on it. Like, we see this game as a closely contested game with a couple plays that have gone Timberland's way, and it's made the score what it is. Second half has been a different story. It's been a dominant Timberland game. But the student section was very negative on North's play. I didn't go over to the Timberland side, but the Knights were very negative on their own team's play, just, oh, yeah, when we're turning the ball over, we're getting sacked, we can't do anything on offense, our defense looks terrible. But from our perspective, they really haven't. I mean, they have looked like a good program. Timberland is they've just outgunned them up until this point. So when you have a student section like this, it's already starting to clear out. I mean, the Knights do have their homecoming dance tomorrow at 7 p.m., so some people getting sleep. Not many. Most people are heading out with friends tonight. But student section starts to clear. The energy level starts to decrease. And as a player, if you don't have the feeling that you get when you have people cheering you on at an athletic event, it fuels you. It really does. It doesn't seem, it's like, oh, well, he can't hear me. What does it matter if I scream, let's go Mo? But it really does. Like, maybe you don't hear that specific one, but fans backing you is an important part of high school athletics.
One, it builds the energy of the game.
Of course. Mo Huff there, punt into the wind, and it just dies, but gets the Knight bounce.
What a beautiful bounce.
Down around the 35-yard line.
That was a really skillful punt from Huff there. You know, that ball turned over in the air, so sure it died, but he definitely got the right spin on it.
Yeah. So the defense on. The Knights need to stop Timberland. 2 for 2. Offense is firing on all cylinders right now this second half. They look to continue the tradition. Again, last time Roby went up the left side and had the touchdown. The play before, or the drive before, sorry, it was DeAndre Jones up the right side. So we'll see what Timberland gets to draw up here. Again, both of those touchdowns were on short passes that broke through that north secondary and they took it all the way. So if Timberland continues that, again, you put it up to that 35-point mark and you just have yourself a running clock ball game. And at that point, not that 35 points is, impossible to come back from. It's hard, but it's not impossible. But
it's hard with 4 minutes left.
Yeah, with running clock, it's not easy. And there's a nice run. Stays on his feet and battles Braeden McKee. He looks to be the leading back this second half for Timberland. He's already got 5 rushes through the first 2 possessions in that play right there. We didn't see him at all in the first.
Kane, I can't help but continue to bring my eye to the sideline here. I'm watching Champ as he looks to prepare to get ready for this next drive. He's working on planting that left foot. That's the ankle it looks like that he injured. I think he's having trouble putting pressure on it. If I'm Coach Bevel here, I'm not sure that I'm going to be quick to put him back in this game. He's kind of a pivotal piece of this team.
No need to risk.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah. I don't think it's worth the risk in a blowout victory or a blowout loss to put him back in this game.
I don't think you can rule it a blowout loss yet. You need Champ Pauley in running quarterback. I mean, Joey Ingrassi is a great alternative, but Champ Pauley really, if you have a chance to win this game, I think it will be with Champ Pauley. So you're going to want to get him into that game, but you just don't want to, you don't want to hurt him.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is Joey just definitely brings a different style to the offense. With Joey, he's
big break up the middle. Braeden McGee for the first down.
Joey definitely brings more of a pocket presence to the offense. Joey's a traditional pocket passer, and he's very accurate in the balls that he throws. Champ provides a bit of a different sense in that, he's going to get out of the pocket quite often.
He's a mobile quarterback.
You're going to see a lot of designed runs for him. He keeps the defense a little more honest when he's on the field. So he's definitely somebody that you want to have on the field the vast majority of the time.
Absolutely.
And as we're talking about the injuries, this is kind of something that's ailing the Knights right now. Jackson Pfeiffer hobbling off the field or late in that second half, and it's kind of been something that you can kind of tell has been bothering him the rest of the game. Mo got hit late in that or early in that second half that we mentioned that could have potentially been a roughing the kicker. He looks like he's kind of been hobbling a little bit.
Yeah.
It's never something you want to see, and hopefully this isn't something that continues into the next game.
No, Humphrey there with a nice run, showing off those legs for a gain of 7. Also another injury, you got the freshman Mikey Miller, who's had himself a phenomenal season, couple catches on the year. One for about 40 yards in that St. Charles game. He's had an interception, one of the 3 so far this season for the Knights. You see him over there, he's got an ice pack on his left knee, sitting down. He will not be back into this game. He had the return earlier. In that big hit, he has not come back from it.
I have a similar take with Mikey Miller
Humphrey
here
takes
as I
it.
do with Champ. You know,
First down.
I don't see a reason in risking, you know, what could potentially be the rest of his season for a game that doesn't look like it's really in reach. I think you sit him down on the bench. You let him watch what's going on. You let him learn, because it's still a learning experience, even if you're not out on that field. You sit him down, and you're going to regroup next week.
Yeah. Say this is definitely a big defensive possession here. If the defense gets a stop, preferably a turnover, I think then it's go dogs go. I think at that point you got to put in your best players. You got to try one more possession. If you can't score on that, I think it's probably okay to start sitting. A deep pass, Austin Humphrey to a receiver, touchdown. DeAndre Jones, his second of the half. DeAndre Jones has been electric. The sophomore, that one going for 42 yards.
That sideline's howling. These Wolves keep packing into that end zone.
DeAndre Jones, a catch down on the 2-yard line. Ran it in, 2 receivers in the area. And DeAndre Jones will be the one to come down with it. And that'll put it at a 33-0 lead. Cam Newson back to kick another PAT.
It's Timberland fans making it their own home game. I see a fan running back and forth a flag through this, through these stands. I'm sure that's not something these North students want to see.
No, not a bit. So that'll put it at 34. So no running clock. Knights will still have 14 minutes of ball to play here. But that will be, again, a 34. Timberland Wolves 34. Francis Howell North Knights 0. Still have the goose egg on the board. Something that they're going to want to fix. You know, even if you don't win the football game, I think the Knights still have a lot to take away from this.
I totally agree.
There's been bits and pieces that have looked great. You would like to get some points on the board, and I think if you don't, then it does actually come out as a loss of a night. I mean, like, I don't know how much you really can get out of a game where you don't score, you don't move the ball that well on offense, you have lost red zone positions, but you get a score, you at least feel better. You can take, you know, a drive that ended in points, a drive that ended with something to show for it, away from it to look into film and stuff. I mean, regardless, every game there's something to learn, good or bad. Tonight, Timberland really just has, they've silenced Norris. Again, their last contest was 32-21. Timberland took it. But tonight, looks like 32-21 might be a little out of reach here for the Knights, but we'll see what happens here on the return. Up the middle, good return to the 26-yard line.
Yeah, building on what you were saying, you know, you're just trying to see positive plays, right? You definitely view a play differently when you aren't trying to come back in a game. You're more just trying to have things that look positive. So that 3-yard gain where he fights a couple tackles off is definitely viewed a little higher when you're not trying to come back 1 touchdown and when you're coming back 5.
Yeah, we see Joey Ingrassi here keeping Champ Pauley, the QB1, on the sideline. See how that taps into this, you know, the rest of this game.
That left planter foot did not look good on that sideline. I think you definitely don't want to push him.
And handoff there.
Especially when you have a competent backup like Ingrassi.
Yeah. Colin Conley wrapped up. Timberland student section. Some chants going. No, your own home crowd has been pretty quiet for the most part tonight. Not a ton to cheer for.
I was just gonna say it's hard to start some chants when you haven't put some points on the board.
Yeah, Timberland is given the "Why y'all leaving" chant currently. It's a rough one to hear on homecoming night.
Not your favorite.
Joey Ingrassi drops back. We haven't seen much of Sam Mihurin, the secondary running back for Knights tonight. You know, that was just, I was watching his eyes, and I looked up to the top of my screen and saw that one. It just didn't look like anybody was on the same page. Tristan Bosley there was running a little post route, coming back over the middle, and Joey Ingrassi just threw it too soon.
Yeah, I think they both had a similar idea of the play design. I'm just not sure Bosley and Ingrassi had the same tone on how far that deep should be, or how far that route should be ran.
Yeah.
I think Joey thought he was going to settle a little bit closer to the 20 yards around the sticks.
Yeah.
And Bosley wanted to go in the end zone.
Yeah. So Joey Gracia rolls out to the right side, throws it over the middle, and it's picked off. Another turnover. Stays on his feet. He'll take it back. 20-15, and he's wrapped up by David Beeger on the 12-yard line. What a takeaway for Timberland. Gregory Jackson, the one with the interception.
Kane, I like to stay really positive, but that sort of feels like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
You know,
a series of unfortunate plays here in this third quarter, and that one could put it away. The pick up around the 40-yard line, runs it all the way back down inside the 15. 40 seconds to go.
This is for sure a quarter that the Knights are not going to want to remember. This is not the one that they're going to want to watch on Monday morning.
But you can't forget it.
You can't forget it. You got to learn from it.
You might not want to, but you really do. You got to see what you could have done better. I wouldn't be shocked to see a shot to the end zone on this play.
It wouldn't shock me at all.
And there's a nice run there. Keeps up the left side. And there's a flag on the play.
We got a different kind of shot to the end zone.
Tony Velasco, the ball carrier. Will he get credited with the touchdown or stopped short?
Those referees didn't look too excited.
Looks to be a holding call or a block in the back. And we'll be holding on the offense to move him back. So a great run there by Velasco, but it will not result in points. And it will push him back to set up another first down play.
But, Kane, I definitely think that adds a little bit more truth to your prior statement. I think it's got to be a shot to the end zone. While you're up 34, you want to keep adding on here.
Don't move the ball back 2 yards from where it was
still a
spotted
net negative,
previously.
you know. Still got to be penalized.
Maybe 1 yard. That was about a football length away from where they started.
Hey, still took away a touchdown.
And it looks like they just scooted their butts right back up to the
nice
12-yard line.
Hey, it works.
And drops back. Looks to be a pass to the end zone. And that's their backup quarterback. That will not be Austin Humphrey, who we've seen all night.
We have not seen
that
him
is
yet.
Hudson Serrano. He has gotten 4 snaps this year. That'll be his 5th, and he had a shot to the end zone. Just sailed it a little too far. I think that is exactly what Timberland should do in this situation. You have a big lead, 34 points. I think it's great to work in the backups. You need to get them reps on both sides of the ball. I think defensively you do, and I think if you're the Knights, I think you also have to work in sophomores that don't get a ton of playing time, the juniors and stuff. You got to get them reps in case you need that depth later on in the season.
Yeah, I imagine Serrano hasn't gotten a whole lot of snaps that aren't victory formation, so this is a cool opportunity for him. He's definitely pumped up with the adrenaline and the fact that he's, he has quite a big cushion to work with.
Of course.
But just play his game, right?
Yeah. Johnny Velasco there, the ball carrier. Another penalty to bring him back. So that'll be holding, and it will take. That's just hurting him. This hurting him this drive out. You get the ball on the 12-yard line. Velasco's had 2 phenomenal runs. One down about around the 1-yard line. He was knocked out. They didn't have to make an official rule where the ball was because of the penalty, and now this ball is going to be pushed all the way back. Up around the 24-yard line. And rolls out. Serrano slings it. If that's completed, that's a great throw and a great catch. Officials looking at each other, got to talk it over. And they'll give. They're all going to talk it over. They need all 3.
This is a confusing one.
Holstein, the receiver. And it's a catch.
As a referee crew, wouldn't you just love instant replay in situations like this?
You definitely would. Serrano there. They roll out Patrick Mahomes type throw to Riley Holstein.
Maybe it looks a little Mahomey.
Just a little bit. But a great play there, really boosts the confidence of the backup. And now you're putting yourself down in a big second down position. 3rd and 7. And that'll put an end to the 3rd quarter. They will not have to snap the ball. But coming off that play, I think most of the momentum is with Timberland. If it wasn't already that entire 3rd quarter, they had 3 takeaways, 2 interceptions, and a fumble recovery. That is just an absolute killer if you're North. 13-0 at half, and you just gave it away. I mean, you just handed them 21 points to make this game nearly unmanageable. But I don't think we need to talk sad about North. I think we need to talk great about Timberland. I mean, their defense is something that just a masterclass that half. They had 1 big play allowed, and it came back because of unsportsmanlike conduct. Would have been a completely different game, had Colin Conley been gotten his run up inside the 12-yard line. But it didn't, and their defense is held really strong. It's not bend, don't break. I don't think they're bending or breaking right now. Their defense is rock solid. It's an immalleable object right now. You can't change it. It's going to be solid all the way through this 4th quarter, and the Knights have got to figure out how to counter that because everything that they're doing right now is working.
That was a quarter for the ages for these Wolves. That's something that film is going to be very exciting on Monday. Those players are going to be very happy to look through all that.
Yeah, I would say both sides of the ball got something to learn tonight. So you see on the bottom of your screen here, Roby, he already had a touchdown this half. See what he can do. They have Beeger on him now, one of the best corners. And they will look to Roby, but it's a low pass, and if it's completed, it might actually lose yardage. So rough pass there from Serrano. But you're always going to be rough having a backup come in one of these situations. It's always good, always good to get him in, and you got to expect that there's going to be some flaws. So see what they can do here. Brings up a 4th down and 7. 4th and 6, and they will not bring on the field goal unit. Ruthless is what I call this play call. Serrano drops back, avoids the pressure, rolls out, and is picked off. Picked off by the Knights on the goal line, so not sure how much that's going to matter. But a 4th and 6 opportunity inside the red zone. Do they want to put it at 35, run the clock out? No, they want 6 more. Doesn't work out for them, and the more they kept reaching, it was sure to happen at some point. Xander Love with the interception. A great play by the Knights. Going to turn that, give them some energy again. Might not win them the game, but it'll give them that confidence.
That'll be a highlight on film day, like, hey, this hasn't been great, but hey, Xander, great play.
Yep, exactly. So the Knights starting down on the 2-yard line here, hoping to evade the safety. And that's a handoff to Conley. He's wrapped up on the 1-yard line. I watched a lot of Iowa football. I'm a big Iowa fan, and safeties might be the most electric plays. More than a 99-yard touchdown, I would like to see a safety come out of a football game. So if Timberland can do that here, I think that will be all said and done. I think that'll be all she wrote if they can get full momentum on their side, that 35-point lead. If you're the Knights, you're on the 1-yard line, you're trying to get breathing room here for your punter because, you're down on the 1. There's not much of a – if you can break one big here, I think that's great, but I think you're just trying to give Mo Huff some room to boot it out.
I hate to have that mentality, but I definitely agree with you.
Oh, and a great catch there, but there will be another flag on the backfield.
Let's hope it's roughing the passer.
See what the call is.
For everyone's sake, let's hope this was roughing the passer.
And
They're sending the gunner into the play like it's just normal, so.
Bring it up to a 3rd and 1. Doesn't look like there was any penalty called. They must
Did he pick the flag back up?
I guess. He put it back in the pocket, which I like. I do like when officials do that. They think about it, and they take whatever happened. Colin Conley breaks some tackles. That is determined running. Colin Conley up the sideline, and breathing room for the punter. 50 yards should be enough.
Gosh, I know Colin wishes that deep high safety wasn't there. He almost had himself a big one.
Almost had himself a big one. Still had himself a pretty big run, if I say so. That'll be a huge pickup from the 1 yard line. Gets the reception to David Beeger on the 9, and then Colin Conley will run it all the way up to the opposing 49 yard line. A great rush. 50 yards there. See what the Knights can draw up here. Under 10 minutes to go in the contest. Homecoming night. Can they make some magic?
Yeah,
drops back, swings it out. Colin Conley follows his blockers and will get the gain of about 2 yards.
Yeah, maybe it's a loss. Maybe it's not what you hope for, but send the fans home with something that, like, hey, they had a really great final couple possessions, and they made it a little bit closer.
Fans who, high school football games are not totally about the football for the fans. I mean, for the players and the parents, of course it is. And the fans obviously care about how their team does. They obviously care about the game. But a lot of time, for a lot of people, they go and they just like to hang out. But the thing that they're going to remember is those last plays before they leave, that last drive. If the Knights can get on the board here, I think that sends a positive mindset going into the weekend, into next game.
And it definitely changes your memory of the game for sure.
Joey Ingracia sails that one a little too high. Almost picked off by Sky Owens.
Yeah, he was trying to follow that same formula he had with that play back all the way in their own territory. David Beeger made a great play, grabbed that ball out of the air. That's not going to work every time.
Yeah, sometimes you're running those quick slants and you have guys on his back, guys on his back, guys on his front, guy on his side. Somebody call that a hospital ball, tossing it into coverage like that, but no worries about that one. Ball sailed. And rolls out. Joey Ingracia, nowhere to go. He'll be swallowed up, and the ball comes out. A suffocating loss for the Knights, and that ball pops out of Joey Ingracia's hand. A huge hit from the lineman. I mean, that is a tough one to hang on to. Joey Ingracia, he really is a smaller guy. He's not somebody that's going to be, he's a 5'7", 135 quarterback. That contact from a 6 foot, 6+ D lineman, that ball's going to pop out more times than not. So an unfortunate loss there for the Knights. Their 4th turnover of the half. I was talking to you pregame. I expected 5 turnovers total. Currently we're at 6.
You're not terribly inaccurate. I just don't think you expected the distribution of these turnovers.
I did not. I was expecting a bit more of an even game. Maybe not as many fumbles as there has been. And a big run there for Velasco. Up the left sideline. Makes a couple guys miss. Beautifully crafted blocking. And way to follow his blockers. Velasco has been phenomenal.
I could be wrong, but it looked like that ball popped out at the end of that play, too.
It did. I'm wondering if it's a slick ball.
I mean, I'm sure.
Spitting rain up until game time. The turf is still wet. I'm sure that's what I was thinking pregame. Is the ball slips out of hands, throwing, and it could pop out running. But this is
Kane, not to bring up my spotlight again, but when I was down on the field, that turf definitely feels a little slick. I can definitely understand why that ball will get a little slippery.
That's why you messed up that one dance move, right?
Hey, no, that's not. That's okay.
And wrapped up there.
I have never messed up a dance move ever, Kane.
Oh, really?
I'm a perfect dancer.
Okay. See me in Just Dance 17 after the game. And here they go. A 2nd and 6 opportunity. Ball on the 29. Timberland has not let their foot off the pedal. Here they go. Jet sweep action. Wide open lane. He's up the sideline. And he stays on his feet and will fight and fight and fight. Toby Boyer, the man, he has not gotten a lot of carries. He is a senior this year. smaller physique, but he will get a great break off there of about 15 in the first.
Doesn't matter how big you are and how fast you are. If you have a hole that big, you're going to get some yardage.
And a 1st and 10. They're driving down this field like no other. And a big gain up the left side. Touchdown, Johnny Velasco. Fights down, follows his blocker as the O-line is winning them this football game. The holes are just being opened. Phenomenal play from Timberland.
Kane, this is
another flag on the play.
This is definitely not something I've expected from this football game. That, not to draw the attention away from the field, but these Timberland fans have now gotten to the other side of the stands.
The North student section.
A lot more confident than they were in the beginning of the game, that's for sure. But, you know, when you're losing this bad, there's not a whole lot you can say.
No. But that penalty will move them back. Velasco take that score off the scoreboard. They'll move them back up to the 25-yard line. Up to the 20. And from the 21-yard line, it's a 1st and 20 opportunity. And Velasco takes it again. Another great carry. He cannot be stopped tonight. I would say that was blocking, but I would say that was more the running back. I would say Velasco's vision is just, it's breathtaking. It is phenomenal field vision when he's cutting up through defenders like that. It's just, he's had a tough time being stopped tonight.
Yeah, Kane, I don't even know who to give credit there. That was just a really pretty football play, especially in garbage time, right? You know, we're talking about how backups are starting to get into the game. There's a reason it's called garbage time. You know, plays don't look as pretty, but that was a really great executed play there.
And that'll be another jet sweep. Give it right back to him. Toby Boyer had a 15-yard jet sweep a couple plays ago. Gets it right back and takes it up for about a gain of 5.
So we're getting to the end of this game. We're definitely seeing what was an emphasis in practice throughout the week. You can definitely tell jet sweeps, misdirections were definitely something that they highlighted in practice because, I mean, that was about as smooth of a jet sweep as I've ever seen.
Say blockers did their job, and, you know, they just giving them opportunities. Serrano really has facilitated the field well coming in as a backup quarterback. And there's a handoff. And touchdown, Timberland. I'll say it again. An outstanding run for Johnny Velasco, a junior, and he is making a big impact on this game. The Wolves put it to a 40-0 gap. Running clock now. This game is, in my eyes, all but over.
Yeah, I kind of hit on it earlier, Kane. I like to stay really positive with how I call these games, but this is not one that I think North's going to end up on top here.
Yeah, it's a tough one to bounce back from. 41 points in 6 minutes. I'm not phenomenal at math, but that seems like a touchdown a minute, and I'm not sure that
I'm not planning on going into math like the PA announcer was talking about. I think I'm going to stick with journalism, but yeah, that math doesn't seem too good.
Odds are not in North's favor. Timberland, heads up, you know, smiles on. I would say that, you know, you look into the student section now for North, it is just cleared. And, I mean, also, you know, looking at both student sections at this point, it's 9:30. Everybody's tired. It's, like I was talking about, not everybody's here for football. But a visiting student section should not be as full as it is currently. Especially this late into a contest.
Yeah, you know, it's the homecoming game. It's really fun. Sure, the play on the field isn't what everyone expected, and that, you know, that happens, right? I don't want to repeat the same tune that I've been saying all night, but it's a developing program. It's going to take time, and that's important for the fans to know. And clearly, the fans that are still here understand that. You know, it's important that they have patience, 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 patience. And a squib kick from Timberland there is not something I expected.
Do they fall on it?
That was really, really close for a 41-0 game here.
Not something Timberland fell on the football.
Wow.
They get a squib kick. Colin Conley could not reel it in. And Timberland, if it wasn't enough defensive play already, the special teams unit had to get in on the action, recovering their own kickoff late in the fourth quarter to get the ball back.
Kane, we keep talking about these injuries for North, but I mean, it's going to be an injured feelings kind of. This is not pretty. And a squib kick to take the ball away is like taking candy from a baby here. It's just not pretty.
Looking at the North sideline, you got guys kneeling, sitting on the bench. You know, they just, people are spaced out. The team's not all working in together. Here we go. Serrano working into it. He's been a great second half quarterback. And there's a run. Stuffed. Didn't go down, but the play will be blown dead. Good wrap-up tackle by Javon Godfrey. Way to hold his ground. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 here. Ball on the 25-yard line. Yeah, starting a drive on the 28 after kicking the ball off is not something you see often. But for Timberland, this
feels like a Pro Bowl, Kane, except this is a high school football game.
Say you're looking at, it's almost for Timberland right now. It's arcade mode on Madden. It's toss it up. And
yeah, I mean the hit sticks have definitely been there.
And a quarterback keeper for Serrano bulldozes down on the 9-yard line.
Kane, this is definitely reminding me of Madden. That's definitely something I would have done.
Quarterback keeper. Serrano has the size, standing at 6'2". He's a big quarterback. He can lay a hit onto a defender, especially a smaller defender like the one we just saw there.
He's got some long legs to him too.
Yeah, I'd say it didn't take him very many strides to get from the 30 down inside the 10.
Now the question, if they really are playing Madden here, they would be running quick slants here and throwing to the slot receiver.
Quick slants or an out route. We'll see what happens.
We shall see.
I think you could also give it to your back again. I mean, you've had success all night. That's what they'll do. Cuts it up and will not go much farther than that.
Looked more of like a stick concept.
Yeah, Wyatt Berra had his first carry of the night. He has not played all season. And
it's exciting.
41-point blowout. You might as well put him in, see what he can do. And, you know, there's a nice little gain of 3, gain of 4. So, again, the depth that Timberland has is phenomenal in the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, I
motions it across.
Hasn't been too many times.
And jet sweep.
And that was
will they give it to him?
A really great tackle if they can keep him out of the pay dirt.
Stony Billings. Couple jet sweeps in the first half. Ball is stopped on the 1-yard line. A great effort there to hold him short. But there will be a player down on the field.
Like we were talking about earlier, when you're down by this much, the victories inside the game aren't necessarily scoring touchdowns or keeping it close, but it's little plays like that, right? That's something that you try to build into a game that you do win. That was a phenomenal tackle to keep him out of the end zone.
Mid-air, straight dive, and to knock Stony Billings down on the 1. That's something that you got to take pride in that. That's a good goal line stand. Forces here a third and inches.
I think your mini goal here, if you're the Knights and you're on defense here, I think your hope is to get a stop here, or at least force a field goal.
Yeah, I don't think the way that Timberland's been playing and the way their fans have been acting, I could not imagine they would settle for a field goal here on the goal line.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I think it's 6 or give North the sticks. I don't think there's any reason that they would kick a field goal in this situation. I mean, I think there's a reason that they should, but the way that the confidence and cockiness that they're playing with right now, I don't think they will.
I mean,
Serrano has so much swagger right now. He has been balling this second half.
You could even say aura.
So off the field now, that's Tristan Bosley for the Knights, a big key player, wide receiver and corner for him. It's going to be tough to see him off. With all the injuries they've had tonight, it's going to be tough to bounce back next week. Again, next week they will go on the road to Fort Zumwalt West. next Friday. So hopefully they're all rested up for that one. They'll have a busy weekend, and through the week, film study they got to watch, and there's always more to be accomplished.
Kane, I do have one complaint about Serrano's aura. 43 for a quarterback is not something I'm used to.
43 is an interesting number.
It looks like a running back's throwing the ball.
That is, that's a good take on that. He has the build of a running back. I'm sure they could put him in the backfield and he'd do just the same job.
They keep scoring.
But if they
keep scoring, it might happen.
A big 4th and 1 opportunity under 3 minutes on the clock. Jet sweep, and they'll get the touchdown. Stony Billings, 2 jet sweeps on those last 4 plays, and that'll just tack on to their lead, nearing the 50-point mark. It's just homecoming football. It's a rough one to watch. As a night, it is a rough game to sit.
As a night, this is a night you want to forget.
Yeah, I say, but I put it to a 48-point jump. And a blocked field goal. The Knights have 2 tonight. I was just gonna say that they drove down.
That's a win.
I was just gonna say that they were driving down the field faster than a Mustang getting chased by the cops, and then they just got blocked there on their 2nd field goal of the night, and that kind of killed the momentum. So now off to kick again, see if they can get another phenomenal squib kick. So a 47-point lead here for Timberland. Under 2 minutes to go. Again, that running clock in full effect. So the clock even running now between the breaks. Referees want to get out. Parents want to get out.
Yeah,
I think at this point, both teams' players want to get off the field.
I respect the grind that everyone is still here. It's chilly outside. It does not feel good. For everyone that's out on that field, I respect the grind that you have gone through here. This is not the game that I don't think anyone was hoping for other than that Timberland, that left side of those stands. But
it's feeling like 56 degrees tonight.
That is definitely a shift from what we've been used to.
Yeah,
especially with the wind being how it is.
Past few games we've had air conditioning on in the booth. Tonight it's you almost need like a little bonfire here.
I was gonna say, Kane, I don't know if I like this AC going. I'm a little chilly and I have long sleeves on. Yeah. I can't imagine how you feel. Kane is wearing a polo currently, and he is probably cold.
A stylish polo.
Stylish polo. Sorry, yeah, stylish polo.
Clock ticks under a minute, and they'll boot that kick deep. A returnable ball. If you can get both hands on it, fumbles the recovery. Stays on his feet, cuts back right, and will be wrapped up. A hard hit there, but he took the contact well.
Kane, I think the biggest example of how weird this football game is the last 4 kickoffs we've seen a holder hold the ball, and I can't remember the last time I've seen that one.
Say Darren Escalante there on the return. Couldn't get much to work. It is nice to have that cut back left to right, but that will put this game away. Final score, 47 for the Timberland Wolves coming on the road to Francis Howell North, who went and put up 0 points. A shutout, a goose egg on the board for the Knights. Homecoming, it's disappointing for North. But there's definitely things that you want to take away from the game. You had good takeaways, you had good turnovers, good offensive possessions. You had great, you really did have some promising offense. You had promising offensive plays, and on defense, you looked strong. You had, you had a couple, pick in the first half. Definitely you have things to build on heading into your next game against, at Zumwalt West. Friday night game. The biggest thing that I would say for the Knights, regardless of the score, is that you have injuries. You have Champ Pauly, who did not play that second half very much.
No.
Went out with looked like a ankle, leg, something. We don't have official word on it. Pauly was out. Your freshman Mikey Miller, who has been making great plays this year, he's out with a knee injury after a return. And we just saw Tristan Bosley hobble off the field there late into the fourth quarter. So injuries will be a big takeaway. But homecoming game, it's morale that really is going to set you back. What do you have for Timberland, good and bad?
For Timberland, there's a lot more good than there is bad. In that first half, you did look a little shaky. I'm not gonna lie and say that they were this dominant force that whole time. But what I will say is they learned from whatever mistakes were going on in that first half, and they had a third quarter for the ages. Flipping it back,
21-point third quarter is something that it's tough.
You don't see it very often.
That makes the fourth quarter momentum a lot different.
Well, and if I had to flip it back to North, I would like to highlight 2 negatives that I think can be positives, right? You see the 0 on the scoreboard. It's not something that you want. But there were 2 very big runs from Colin Conley that were either called back or, he was tackled. Yeah. Those are 14 points that could have been there, and those are things that can be repeated, right? A guy like him can break off big runs like that. And sure, but 14 points wouldn't have changed the outcome of this game too much, but it would have helped the morale, certainly.
Colin Conley, way to get his head cool. We saw him after that one. He almost broke the seam, but just couldn't quite bring it together. Beating himself up for it, had to take a play off, and he bounced back and really did have some good open field runs.
Yeah.
So he looked good. I would say most of the offense they were there. They just weren't all on the same page, I guess is how I would phrase that. So
I totally agree.
The North, like you were saying, they're a building program. They have all the pieces. They've just got to put it together.
Yeah.
For Timberland, dominant win. Dominant second half. First half was, it was kind of up in the air. It's like my pregame prediction was that first half would be close. Second half would be shifted the other way close.
Differentiate the 2 squads
It did
a little
not
bit.
happen. Again, halftime was 13-0. Timberland led. Fourth quarter was 34-0, and your final score, Timberland Wolves on the road, 47. Francis Howell North, your home team, 0.
They dropped to 0-5.
Yeah. So again, there's takeaways both sides of the ball. Homecoming week for North, so the players will all be busy tomorrow. But I'm sure next week both teams will be back watching film. So
Friday morning.
Yeah.
Or Monday morning.
Yeah. Again, I'm Kane Manfull. This is Braeden Kettinger. We are so glad to have you tonight. Thank you for tuning into the stream, and we'll catch you on the next one.